Good evening, children of the night. This is Dion the Vamp. I hope everyone is well. We are back. So, some of you may be used to Tuesday being like a just chatting day. But I'm rotating so many Tuesday ideas in my brain. And I wasn't able to land on one. Also, I really wanted to play this. It's been chilling. It's been chilling in my backlog for a while now. Other than that, so a little housekeeping though. Couple of things. So in regards to Friday stream, I will still be doing a VTM visual novel, but I will be doing Shadows of New York, because I did not expect to last time, but last stream I finished Coteries of New York. I won't go into it. Hey Paige, welcome. I won't go into it too much, but like if you missed it, you need to understand I am pressed. I am pressed like a panini. I am so pressed you could lay me on an ironing board, okay? I'm pressed. But I'm not gonna talk about that. Like, I'm not gonna talk about it now. I'll talk about it Friday. We're gonna talk about like my thoughts on Coteries before we play Shadows, because I have so many thoughts. But I will say, like, the short of it is, ultimately, like, I did some like research after the game in regards to the final ending of the game. There is no alternative ending. And I want to, despite like all my thoughts on it, I want to play Shadows because I think the character work is good, but whoever made the team, like, you know, some of the decisions, maybe not a team, but like the decisions that were made for Coteries very much gives me like the feeling of like, you know, it's not a visual novel in the sense where my choices matter that much, and we'll talk about it Friday, because you guys are not ready to see the me that can be up past 3 a.m. You're not ready for that. Aside from that, in regards to Imperial Grace, this is a demo. As you can see, this is demo 2.0. I think their Kickstarter finished last month or the end of May, near the end of May. But I believe they have backer kit. If you go to like Sensoria, and you can also just find them like Imperial Grace. If you wanted to like support them as well, because they only have the demo out right now, and they got funding for the game and art book and stuff, which I'm excited for because I was able to like back it. Anyways, I also played another game from Sensoria that was made during like a game jam. And that will be going up tomorrow on my YouTube channel. Which is fun. It's a totally free game. You can find that one on Steam. I think I talked about that a couple of times playing that game. If the video sounds weird, the very first recording was months ago. Like when I just started streaming. It was last year. Last year, whatever, October, I don't remember how months work. So it was very far away from now. When I say weird, it was like if I don't sound comfortable. But that is neither here nor there. It doesn't matter that much. Other than that, Imperial Grace, I believe there's political intrigue in this. I think you can customize your MC. So like you're playing this character, you can customize your MC. And there's love interests in it. I don't remember how many. At least 3. At least 3. At minimum 3. And I think the king died or something. I don't remember. I don't remember. Everyone knows my brain is Swiss cheese. I do not remember. Despite my excitement for playing. It's no one's fault but my own. You guys have seen me in action. I turned a corner, I forget. Sorry, I'm just like fixing it just a little bit because that part's not relevant, but I don't want to like crop it because all the videos, all the games are so different than how they appear. But yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping. If you don't, I don't have a command for it, but my YouTube should be linked below. You can also click the socials like tab in the panel and it will take you to my link tree, which will have all my social medias. But yeah, nothing else to do about it. Let's get into this. I think the king died. Game is intended for a mature audience. Oh yeah, I put on in regards to this game, which is cool. I love seeing visual novels do this. It has dyslexic font. I turned that on. So for anyone reading along, hopefully it's easier. And maybe, you know, it helped my brain because I read very far ahead of the sentence before my mouth reads it. I saw, also let me know if the volume is good or not, if you can hear the music at all. It's a little weird. Music's beautiful. I mean, the screen capture is being weird. But also there are mature scenes in this game. I don't know how mature. I didn't turn it off because I'm just like, how mature is mature, right? So we'll see. Y'all know I got that censor bar on deck. Don't worry about it. I got it on deck. It's here. If we need it, we'll have it. But yes. Like, shouldn't it tell me? Yeah, but I mean, like, it does say there are like mature scenes in here, but like, you know, like sometimes a warning is maybe like, you know, the scope of how mature it is, you know, maybe doesn't like align. So we'll see. Because it does say mature and I can turn it off. But I'm just like, but how mature is mature? Oh, cool. They have a list of triggers on their store page. Also, by the way, I don't believe the demo is in Steam yet. So you can get the demo for both Windows and Mac on itch, which is what I'm playing it on. We're gonna play a demo version of the game. Thus the content might be subject to change and some features are missing, like the diplomacy. Cool. Oh no, I'll need help. Because if I don't read it, I'll forget it. Because anyone is going to need to progress in the story. Use your mouse wheel to go back even after a choice. Ooh. You can fasten the text display in settings. I did make it very fast. Oh yeah, they also have a colorblind mode. Dyslexic font and simple are available in the settings. Click on the chest in the right corner to see your available resources. Cool. Normal mode. You'll need to manage your resources wisely. You'll have infinite resources. Oh, that's cool. Normal mode. Yeah, let's go. Oh my gosh, they have locks. I think I remember that. Oh, so cute. All right, we got to make Dion. This is close. It's close. Oh. The nose changes too. Oh, they're so pretty. I think this one reads better. That's brown. Oh, we can give ourselves heterochromia, y'all. Okay, that's brown. Is that black? I don't know. My monitors make the games look different, like in color, and temperature, I should say, because it almost looks green to me. I need red. No! Wait, what did I do? Wait, return. I need red eyeball. No red eyeball? No red eyeball? No red eyeball? Oh. I want a red eyeball. I know, I changed my monitor settings recently, so the temperature could be off just for me. We'll just have beautiful dark eyes. Oh, specialty. What's this? You want to pick the war path? You'll gain army and combat bonuses. Basan will be your tutelary god. Ooh. Do you want to pick the stewardship pad? You gain economy and mathematics bonus. That's so cool. You want to pick the diplomatic pad. You'll gain diplomatic and poison. Yo, poison. You want to pick the fate pad. You'll gain religion and fate bonuses. Amatera will be your tutelary god. Oh, I do like me some poison. In a game that gives me poison, I love it. I love poison. Give it to me. That's so fascinating. Okay, we are not Lydia. We are Dion. Empress of Calidia, 10-11-2. Ooh. Okay, now we save. Ooh, poison! Oh, Your Highness, Your Highness! A panicked voice resonated in my dream like an echo, a few moments before I understood that it came from somewhere else and woke up with a jolt, disoriented. The palpable feeling of urgency had immediately brought me to my senses, but it still took me a few seconds to recognize the advisor's voice, as well as the room I was in. Should I... And it's like, should I do English? I'll think about it. Let me marinate. Let me marinate it in my brain a little more. Alden, what's going on? Ooh! Thanks. Your Highness, I bring terrible news. Your father was assassinated last night. I was ready to hear just about anything. Managing crises was an important part of royalty, after all. And yet I was completely stunned by the news. My father was dead at the hands of an assassin, just a few rooms away from me. All the implications from this revelation bounced through my head, drenched in doubt and fear concerning my own security and the future of the realm of Calidia. Alexander, what are you doing in here? I beg your pardon, Your Highness. I did everything I could to save him, but I was too late. Pulling myself out of my lethargy, I looked down on Alexander, who knelt next to the bed, his head bent low, as if the weight of his shame stopped him from getting up. Whatever went down, I knew he had nothing to be ashamed of. When I was just a child, I already admired his talents, and they grew steadfast with age and the position of general. His presence here was a relief. I didn't know the assassin's full intentions, but even if they were after me, as long as Alexander was by my side, I didn't have anything to worry about. Don't put yourself down like this. You aren't responsible for what happened. We'll bring the regicide to justice. Still mortified, Alexander stayed on his knees but nodded in approval, convinced by the strength in my voice. As for me, now that I had said it out loud, I felt that the information had settled in my mind, and I finally accepted it as truth, with a full understanding of the situation. My father, What is that? Is that 5? Don't. I don't know Roman numerals. I think that's 5. 4? I don't know. 5. 4. V. V. Magnus V. It's 5. Okay. My father, Magnus V, Emperor of Calidia, was dead. Many would have broken down after hearing such news, but for years now, I hadn't held an ounce of affection for him. His death was actually good news to me. How many games do I play and everyone's like, man, my dad sucks. He should die. Also, let me see something. 20 influence, 10 resources, 10 army, 10 fate, 10 money. I got 10 whole money, y'all. 10 whole money. 15 nobility, 15 people. I got 10 money. The Austral Gulf. Was that Bellicose Ocean? Okay. Return. How do I get out? Let me out. No. Okay. Oh, there's an X. Okay. I was like, how do I get out of this? That's wild. I support you. I support us. It marked the beginning of a new era that I oh so desired, since I had learned where my destiny lay. I was to succeed him. I was to become the Empress. But it wasn't yet time for celebration. She's like, oh no, my dad is dead? Oh no, Papa. Oh no, Pops. Although I was the legitimate heir to the throne, I had plenty of detractors, and I still needed to figure out why the assassination had taken place. I had many questions about the killer's identity and motivations. Yeah, what are they trying to set us up? What are they trying to set us up? I was lost in thought, and it took me a while to realize that Alden and Alexander were staring at me, worried, surely awaiting a reaction or a declaration from me. Both had known me since my early childhood. They knew that the enmity I felt for the Emperor, and I trusted them enough to set all pretenses aside. Not the lip bite. But it was perhaps a bit inappropriate to rejoice over my future title, while my father's dead corpse was still warm. After taking a deep breath, I threw off my covers and got up, eyeing them. Exult. Pretend to be sad. Or stay neutral. I mean, it looks... Again, what if somebody's trying to... It looks... I think it might be red, like read wrong. Excuse me. I mean, I guess there's no other servants in here, but all servants know everything, so... I think it looks bad to exalt. And then stay neutral could, anybody could read it. We have to pretend to be sad. I straightened up, faltering my hand over my heart, and I put on my most pained and saddened face to declare in a trembling voice. The loss of my father is a terrible tragedy. I still have trouble accepting it. She says she's gonna get an Oscar. My performance was exemplary. I was quite proud of the slight tremors in my speech, but it seemed Alden wasn't entirely convinced. He scoffed. Listen, Alden, I don't know who else is listening. I don't know who else is here. Come on, Your Grace. Keep your sad orphan tears for the court. Even if your little performance is quite convincing and will work wonders on the masses, It doesn't fool anyone in this room. I know fairly well what you felt for your father, and you never seemed the kind of person who would be this sensitive. You have your head screwed on right, which is a part of you that I admire. I sighed inwardly at being so easily exposed, but I politely kept on my smile. You're right. His debt doesn't mean much to me. But just as you said, I can't very well display my indifference before the court. I might as well practice now. I like this attitude. Well, at present, ensuring the kingdom's stability is our top priority. Yeah, the accent's coming out, I gotta do it. I'm beholden to it now. I'm counting on you to protect and serve me. This won't be an easy task, but I'm sure we can accomplish great things. This time, Alexander got up, putting his hand on his sheet in a dignified and military posture. At your service, Highness. May the four witness my oath. I solemnly swear that I will protect you until my dying breath. Emphatic, he bowed down before lifting his eyes up to me. I smiled and accepted his allegiance with a certain poise, despite my unkempt hair and my nightgown. They really are just seeing us in our nightgown, huh? Marjorie, my tutor, often told me that everything about me showed nobility. I didn't need any props to act like an empress. Today, I understood what she had meant. Alden, however, didn't seem to share the general's fervor. Alden, you and me gonna have problems? Are we gonna have problems? Forgive me, Your Majesty, for tarnishing your enthusiasm, but there's a very delicate question that I have to ask. Have you had your father killed? His abrupt question threw me off, and I stared at him, wavering between surprise and indignation. My extra poison sure doesn't look good now, does it? How dare you even suggest such a possibility? You are going too far, advisor. Come on, don't be offended. You said it yourself. You've hated your father since the death of your brother. You've always held him responsible for it. And your father dies on the very day of your return to the palace? Are you also thinking it's a setup, Alden? Are you also thinking it's a setup? Please tell me you think it's a setup, because you cannot implicate me. Whatever your answer is, I'll accept it, but I need to know. I felt anger rise within me at these words, and I walked to the window to breathe some fresh air. After I took a few deep inhales, I finally turned around to face him and gave him my answer in a firm voice. On the one hand, my presence here isn't a coincidence. The Emperor celebrates, or rather was about to celebrate, his birthday in 2 days. Half of the Empire's noblemen are here. Why do I keep doing that? Hold on. I literally, is it right click? Yeah, I keep doing that. Sorry. It's undeniable that the event presented the perfect opportunity to strike. The palace is swarming with unknown guards and servants. It's much harder to provide security in these circumstances. Exactly. On the other hand, your suspicions are an insult to my intelligence advisor. After a regicide, the heir is always suspected. If I had really wanted to speed up fate, you better believe I would have been smarter about it. Marjorie taught me the rules of the game. I would never risk losing everything in such a foolish way. I know my ascension to the throne will already be difficult because I'm a woman. I'll state it plainly if it can relieve your doubts, but listen closely because I will not repeat myself. No, I did not have my father assassinated. My eyes trained on him. I crossed my arms, almost daring him to contradict me as I kept a lid on my fury. The nose is returning. Alden seemed to gauge me for a moment, then nodded in assent and apology. Please forgive me, Your Grace. At nightfall, I'll alert the Master of Murmurs and will launch an investigation to uncover the truth and bring justice to your father. I would have preferred more vivid regrets, but under the circumstances, this is enough. And I felt my anger slowly fade away. I accept your apology. Let's not speak of this again. There are more urgent things to do. The news will, no doubt, make quite a commotion. You've asked us to swear allegiance to you. I assume you will try to claim your rightful place as heir, Your Grace. I feel like we sounded confident in it. I nodded vigorously and didn't skip a beat before answering. Yes, my father doesn't have a direct heir. I doubt the court will accept his bastards, and he hasn't remarried since my brother's death. I've been preparing for this role for a long time. The day simply came earlier than I planned. There are many things I didn't agree with when my father ruled. Only time will tell, but I think I'll be a good empress. I don't doubt that, Your Grace. In fact, I'm rather relieved to see you've already thought about it. Like you said, our country needs stability. We can't get away with a weak-willed monarch on the throne. I'm sure you'll be a wonderful empress, Dion. His words were barely a whisper, but I was sure of what I had heard, and I felt my cheeks redden a little. Yeah, Dion? First name? Excuse me, Alexander. Excuse me. First names, Alexander? He seemed embarrassed by his own boldness and blushed more violently than me, while I flashed him a smile to reassure him. It had been years since I had last heard him call me by my name. Even if I had no doubts about my own abilities, it was always refreshing to see the trust he gave me. I cleared my throat and regained my composure so I could give my orders. This would be a long night. Who else knows about the assassination, for now? Alexander seemed surprised by my question and frowned a bit while searching his mind. When I found the body, I immediately went to warn the advisor, and both of us rushed to see you. The only ones who know about it are the guards who were patrolling with me and your father's personal maid, who was passing by. We knew it would be bad to attract attention, so I had her discreetly sent to the dungeon for interrogation. How about the guards, who were stationed before my father's door? Both are dead. I also had their corpses taken to the dungeon for examination. I paced the room, lost deep in thought. You've done well. Now we have to keep it all a secret. It's imperative that no one else hears about it. The silence. Your Majesty, this won't be an easy secret to keep. Obviously. We won't be able to do that forever. I only need a few days, so I can stay ahead of my detractors. Alden looked thoughtful for a few moments, then he nodded. I see. So you want to act before everyone else, which should give you the upper hand. Exactly. Very smart. I have no doubt that some people will want to take advantage of the situation, especially since you're a woman, which surely won't be to everyone's taste. Even if you are unquestionably the rightful heir, your place will be fought over. But if you don't give them time to react, that can make things a great deal easier. That's what I was thinking too. I'd love it if the situation was more straightforward, but this is a little white lie, and the alternative is the chaos of a widely disputed succession. Alden nodded, and I continued, developing the rest of my plan. Did we check the windows and the doors and the closets and the walls before we discussed? In the meantime, pretend that His Majesty is not feeling well and investigate discreetly. I see. I'll order my men to stay silent. I'll also ensure that they haven't said a word so far. About that, it might be wiser to ensure that they can't talk at all. What are we... Hold on. Do you want to do more killing? Or, like, exile them? Hold on. Alden, hold on. I know I have poison, but hold on. Low-grade staff is known for its gossiping. Even the guards. Said you insulted my boys? My men are trustworthy. They would never disobey. Would you be willing to bet on that? If it could jeopardize the plans of your new empress, to whom you have only just sworn allegiance? And that maid, can you also guarantee she'll keep quiet? His teeth clenched, his hand gripping the hilt of his sword. Alexander shook his head. But how will it look? Like what? I think it'll look bad. The weight of Alden's words had also fallen heavily on my shoulders, and I observed both men while contemplating my next steps. This decision is yours to make, Your Grace, but I strongly advise you to silence them for good. He said murk them. He said we gotta end it now. I don't know if that'll look good. Like, if you're worried about servants talking, won't they know that, like, 3 people are also missing? Like, what? Alden was right. The most effective way to ensure someone stayed quiet was to have them killed. However, there could be other alternatives to consider. Alden, I need you to relax. I think you a little too quick with it. Like, just put the dagger away. Hold on. Such a decision couldn't be taken lightly, because whatever I decided, I couldn't afford to regret it. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Wait, what are these resources? Okay, so what's the symbol mean? So military, money, and this one's money. What's that? Influence. Okay. That's military, right? It doesn't highlight. Imagine it's army. Okay. Have them killed. We'll pretend they were collateral damage of the assassin. I'm sorry, Alexander, but we can't afford to take any risk. Ensure their loyalty by promising them a better position once I'm crowned. Even if they were really tempted to talk about what happened, it should be good enough motivation to ensure their allegiance. We do got social climbers out here. When you explain to them that they mustn't say a word, give them a few coins and promise them more once the secret has been revealed. And in the meantime, send them on vacation far away from here. That should be enough to guarantee their silence. No. People get loose in the lips when they drink and they party. I like this. So is this like in 5s? Like, is this like 5, 10, 15? Like, this would be 10? I own 10 army. I like the idea of, like, you know, like I mean, it's not even like, hell yeah, let's get tipsy and lose Haiti. Welcome. Huh. I like the idea of, like, you know, like, yeah, hey, like, giving them, like, potentially more power. That could be interesting. I think having personally, I'm not exactly sure on the cost mechanic right now. We'll see once I click one. But personally, I think this looks bad, right? Because, like, I think it looks bad. I think it makes it look worse. If we're worried about being, like, the crown being contested, I think it looks worse if we kill more of the guards. Like, I know they're like, oh, it'll look like the assassin killed him. I think it could potentially look worse. And it is more interesting. If we're worried about them talking, I think money might be bad. It's interesting. I do kind of like the idea of like sending them. I kind of like that, but you know what happens to people out there when they go out there, they party. Hi, Ambrosia Paradisa, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're well. Let's see. I really like this one. I feel like this plays more into the like diplomat thing. And you know, I got that poison. Okay, so okay, let's see. Do I have to? Okay, just click it. I saw Alexander sign relief and imperceptibly loosen up. Alden, however, shrugged and bowed. Listen, Alden. You are too quick with it. You and your dagger. I understand. I respect it. I like the back alley handling. I like the political mind, but I'm worried about optics. How is everyone? I don't think I've ever seen this game before. I'm good. This is actually like a demo. It's fairly new. I think it only came out like the demo's like maybe 2 months old or whatever. It's from the developer Sin Story. They make a lot of like indie visual novels and stuff. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's relatively new, and this is only the demo. I think by like end of next year they plan to be done with it. I have Swiss cheese brain. I really don't. I don't remember. Goatee and a bun kiss. He is pretty. I'll give him that. Teak, he is pretty. He looks very kissable. I'm not sure if he's romanceable. I think Alexander's romanceable. And then like I remember like 2 other faces kind of that are romanceable. I think we'll meet them in the demo. I'm not totally sure Alden is romanceable. That could work, yes. Time will tell. I have fate. Besides, if I'm right, I'll be surrounded by trustworthy people, which is always useful. Putting pretty men in visual novels and not letting me kiss them is queerphobic. And I'm just not sure Alden is romanceable. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know Alexander is. I'm just not totally sure. Remember who is romanceable. Oh yeah, I was supposed to check my resources. Okay, so the gems are 1, a cost of 1. So that only cost me 2 influence. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Where's my poison gem though? Where's my poison? It told me I would start with poison and I don't see it. Where's my poison? I want my poison. I had spoken with determination, perfectly hiding my own doubts. Humans are unperceptible in nature. No, unpredictable. Oh my god. This is on the dyslexic font. I'm not dyslexic, but my god. Humans are unpredictable in nature. It was a bet, and I could only hope it would pay off. In any case, even if the servants talked and the rumor escaped, I still had my chances. The advantage I was building would be precious to me, but it wasn't the only weapon in my arsenal. Can I count on you, Alexander? He straightened into a military stance and immediately bowed. Of course, Your Grace. I will do my best to convince them. You've made the right decision. Look, he's so happy. Without further ado, he bowed once more and left the room with a heavy step. What's this mean? Alden seemed to be lost in thought for a moment, giving me time to come to my senses before he bowed down in turn. I must at least inform the Master of Murmurs of the situation, so that we may launch an investigation. I nodded, aware of our lead spy's discretion as well as his efficiency. Once this is done, I'll come to you to plan the rest of your ascent. Once more, I nodded in approval, glad to be offered a little interlude that would allow me to gather my thoughts. And to dress decently while I was at it. Truly, no one got me a robe or anything. Everyone woke me up. They were like, Your Majesty, something terrible's happened. No one said, here's a coat. Highly inappropriate. After all, even if the coronation hadn't taken place yet, Deep within me, I knew it. I felt it. I was the Empress. Oh no, the king's dead. What a terrible shame. Rename it what? I don't know. I don't know. One? Does one? I don't know. Chapter 1, The Crown. After learning of her father's death, my only thing is that this one, I don't think it'll be changed. I think the whole point is like to play like as a woman, so I don't think there will be any options for pronouns. The most customization is the appearance and the name, I believe. And of course, like I guess I chose like a class. I think that is where the customization ends. After learning of her father's death, Dion, supported by her advisors, decides to hide the Emperor's assassination by ensuring the loyalty of the few servants aware of the events. She hopes that this reprieve will allow her to set the stage in secret so she can obtain the political support necessary to her coronation. Cute. I like a little summary. Spring, day 8, morning. Oh, those are beautiful. Those are beautifully drawn flowers. Whoever drew the flowers, those are beautiful. Oh my god. The sun had now been up for a few hours. Ooh, look at her necklace. Promising a beautiful day, but I knew I wouldn't be able to appreciate it. Now that the rush of adrenaline from the news had passed, all I had left were doubts on the days to come, which were going to be exhilarating as much as terrifying. She's so pretty. Yeah. This is like, I think like there's 4 complexions, so you can choose like from a very light complexion and then to a fairly dark complexion, but it's only 4. I think this is like the second darkest that I chose. I don't know, when you get like certain like shades in like a game, I feel like it gets hard to tell like the middle medium tone and like then the next like lighter brown tone. But this one felt like a middle to me. I was gambling my future along with Calidia's, and that was a big deal. I had spent the past few hours readying myself and refining the details of my plan to appease my latent nervousness as best as I could, but that didn't help me shake off my main preoccupation, the servants. Like Alden had said, I had made a risky decision, and I had been torturing myself for hours wondering if it was worth it. Listen. We need allies. The world is already against us. We need allies. All right, we need allies. I was tossing and turning when I heard a knock at the door. I leapt out of my bed and let Alden in. I remember when I used to watch people play Atome games as a kid. Always watching someone is fun, especially when there's like when your choices matter. Because it's really nice to see the things like, oh, I would never choose that people would pick. There, Your Grace, we have followed your orders. The spy master! I hadn't seen that he was accompanied by the Master of Murmurs, who came in after him. A slight discomfort washed over me. Why should we be discomforted? I thought we also dealt in secrets. His role inside the palace was vital, but since I was a child, I had been terrified of his hidden face and mysterious aura that surrounded him. What if we had to see his face and he's the most beautiful man you've ever seen? Nevertheless, my discomfort turned into amazement when I saw him remove his hood. Oh, Yar! Remove his hood as if it were nothing and turn to face me. He is pretty. Everyone's pretty so far. Everyone's pretty. It's hard to say who's the most stunning, but everyone is pretty. My brain had pictured the worst for years, and it was very unsettling to finally be able to put a face to that man. I realized he wasn't as monstrous as I had imagined. In fact, I was so shocked that it made me forget the reason for my visitor's presence, which seemed to greatly amuse the Master of Murmurs. What do you guys think he sounds like? What does he sound like? Oh man, I was like, what if he has a French accent? I haven't done one in so long. Hold on. Give me a second. I think I'll do it. Hold on. I'm feeling very Leliana. I feel Leliana very much. Give me a second. Okay, I had to say my touchstone. Is there a problem, Imperial Grace? Oh, it's just I didn't know that you could show me your face. To be honest, I do what I want, but in principle, I only remove my hood in the presence of my sovereign and their close. No, French is a mistake. Hold on. And their close collaborators. So I like to entertain the mystery and no, it's a mistake, y'all. I'm walking it back. It's a mistake. I haven't done it in so long. It's a mistake. Maybe when the game comes out, I'll have practiced it and then he can have it. Maybe just a little bit. Like some words. So, I like to entertain the mystery, anonymity that came with the job. It would be far too dangerous for me never to reveal my face. Some people might use that to accept my identity. I see. Though it was disconcerting, it was also rather reassuring to see that a man as important as the Master of Murmurs already acknowledged me as his sovereign. Alden cleared his throat to recall me to my duty, and I suddenly remembered the reason for the two men's presence, which immediately made my anxiety flare up. To keep myself from staring at the master spy, I faced the advisor and fully focused on him. But who I got this poison from if I'm not friends with the spy master? Did everything go well? My anxiety must have been conspicuous, even if I was doing my best to put on a confident expression. The servants seemed convinced by your offer. They left the palace without complaining, so I suppose we can count that as a win. Despite all that, it's still a bit early to be sure of anything. I gave the Master of Murmurs and Alexander the task of keeping a close eye on the situation. The Master of Murmurs slowly nodded in assent. Well, we'll know more tomorrow, but for the time being, there's nothing more to report. I lifted my eyes to meet the advisors and flashed Alden a reassuring smile. Clearly, he read my emotions better than I had thought, and I couldn't allow myself to visibly waver at such a critical time. Everyone stop reading into my soul, please. I know that, and what's done is done. Now we must focus on the future. Oh, a high priest. Bring the high priest to the council room. I need him to contact the... what is that? Quadrator? Robert is a pious man. Are you sure it's a good idea to confide in him? Everyone likes to think the devout never lie, but one doesn't obtain a place like his without cheating a little. I admit that the idea of lying to him came to me for a fleeting moment, but to fool him would be a complex task, and I'll be needing his support when the time comes. The people put great stock in men of faith. Very well, Your Majesty. Will that be all? Yes, thank you. I swear if Alden becomes a problem, we gotta end it. I'm gonna find my poison and we will use it. Oh, Oh, so that's that's the symbol. Okay. Is that like a scar? Like a branding? What's going on? You summoned me, Your Grace. Yes, thank you for coming, Robert. I gestured for him to sit down, while I settled behind my father's imposing desk. Like I had predicted, my behavior made him lift a curious brow, but I pretended not to notice it. I won't beat around the bush. My father, the Emperor, died during the night. Clearly, we had done a pretty good job at keeping that a secret, since the shock on his face seemed genuine. What? But how? And why am I learning about it now? I need to pray for his soul. I tried to appease him with a wave of my hand, inviting him to sit back down since he looked like he was about to get up. He was murdered. For the time being, we're keeping his death a secret so we can investigate without causing any sort of panic. It was the Master of Murmur's idea. He's convinced he'll be able to find the assassin more easily this way. Drowning in information, the High Priest slumped into his chair and took in my half-truths, while he assumed a saddened expression. It truly is a tragic situation. Keeping quiet and hiding my mourning is a very hard task for me. I know it's a lot to ask of you, but you need to keep this a secret. I want to do everything in my power to uncover the murderer, especially since I'm scared he could come after me. Once more, I was quite proud of the quivers in my voice, and my acting seemed to be effective since I saw a spark of compassion light up in his eyes. I understand now why the general was guarding your door like a common soldier. With a closed expression on my face, I nodded, searching for the right words. The first and main reason I've summoned you here is so that I could confide in you and ask you to pray for my departed father's soul. Of course, Your Majesty. You have to lock yourself up. I'll lock myself up in the Great Temple and dedicate myself to the task. My face still sad, I gave him a tight, grateful smile, but inside I felt relieved. His prayers should keep him busy enough that he wouldn't be tempted to reveal everything. Now I could move on to the true reason of his presence here. But before that, this saddens me, but I have another favor to ask of you. Of course, Your Grace, what is it? Well, Alden and I are afraid that all the upstarts across the kingdom will rush to the castle and try to usurp the throne as soon as my father's death is made public. In their greed, many forget that my line sits on the throne by the grace of the Four. So I'd like to send a letter to the... How do I say it? Quadrator? And have him support my coronation as well as reaffirm my legitimacy. Once more, he stayed silent, and I tried to hide my worry behind a veil of sadness. Just close your eyes, make your eyes water, get real big and sad. I hated that my plans depended on a single person, but I didn't have a choice. Only kings and high priests could hope to quickly reach the ultimate leader of the cardinals, and I technically wasn't a queen yet. I understand, yes. You are Magnus the Fifth. Oh, I'm sorry. Every time I see a Roman numeral, my brain blue screens for a moment. I guess they want me to say V. You're Magnus V's only legitimate child. The throne should be yours. That said, I don't know if the Quadrator will approve of those plans, since you're a woman, and an unwed one at that. Not to mean like you were an unmarried wench. Can't believe this. In these trying times, y'all got time for this? I felt my body tense up at his words, and it took all I had to conceal how irritated I was by this reminder. I knew I would be told such things. I had mentally prepared myself for it, but obviously it hadn't been enough. It's an issue, yes, and I'll do my best to find a fitting king quickly, but you'll agree that I cannot entrust the throne of Calidia to just anyone. I have plenty of suitors, but I need some time to study each and every one of them. That's not something that can be done in just a couple of days, or even weeks. In the meantime, we do need someone to lead the country and make sure it doesn't sink into chaos. And if a regent were to be appointed, I'm afraid he might refuse to give the throne back to me and my husband, which would lead the whole country to a bloodbath. No one wants to see another era of murderous plots like during Magnus III's time. Oh my god. Just y'all gotta put numbers in here. I don't know which way you want me to read it. You're right, Your Grace. We cannot let such a tragedy befall us. I'll go write a letter to the Quadritor right away to express support for your coronation and explain our situation. Satisfied, I let out a sigh of relief. I thank you for your support, High Priest Robert. It means a lot to me. Swiftly, I opened one of the desk drawers and pulled out a thin sealed letter. While I was waiting for you, I humbly wrote a few words destined for the Quadritor. We've never met, and I hope this would help him get to know me a little, as well as reassure him of my faith in the Four. I was thinking that, perhaps, you would be so kind as to add it to your own correspondence. Once more, he seemed to be caught off guard, but he smiled instantly and enthusiastically. Of course, Your Majesty, it's a great idea. Relieved, I gave him the letter in question, while thanking him once more for his support and his help in these unprecedented times. I only hoped he didn't have the audacity to break the seal, because even if it did contain a few cliches on my virtues, the letter mostly made promises that could actually motivate the Quadritor. Ooh, that's so... You want 3 whole monies? I knew that gold made the world go round, and so I promised a hefty donation to the great temple of the Four in Meridian. Knowing his taste for luxury, I knew that he wouldn't be insensitive to a few more riches. I'd always known that I'd need his support one day. I had used few resources at my disposal to observe him closely, and I had learned something that could stain his reputation. Ooh, we could blackmail him. But he is not my enemy yet, and I don't need to make an enemy of him now. So I'm okay spending 3 monies. You know, and just flatter him a little bit. I'm not... If I don't need to blackmail him now, I'm good with that. To play with a man as powerful as the Quadritor, and I wasn't talking about his possible connection to the gods, but his actual worldly power, was a risky move, but it was all worth it. The dice had been cast. I could only hope for things to go well, and prepare the field for my conquest of the Callidian nobility. I should check my resources. It's evening in the same day. Wait, hold on. I have 7 money left. It was 3 money. Okay. Alright. Okay. I've only got so much money. Despite my desire to act, for the time being, I couldn't do anything but wait for the Quadritor's answer. Even though the letter had left that very morning, Meridian was far away, and I knew I couldn't hope for an answer for at least 3 days. I had to chomp at the bit and act naive. My first thought was to mingle with the court so I could clear my head. Oh my god, excuse me. But then pretending that nothing was up and feeding rumors to justify my father's absence was more frustrating than doing nothing. Even Marjorie's presence irritated me. Despite her advanced age, as soon as she turned her inquisitive eyes onto me, I had the impression she managed to perceive the truth. And so I had taken refuge in the library, hoping to read a little. But in all honesty, even if I managed to unscramble a few words, my thoughts were far away, and my mind was replaying the events of the previous night, asking myself again and again if I had done the right thing. It's not you with the French accent. Why are you here? Your Grace. As if he suddenly realized where we were, the Master of Mirrors repeated his interjection in a lower, albeit just as zealous tone. Your Grace. Nope. Your Grace, we have an urgent problem on our hands. Okay, so he was calling from there. Okay. The preamble was enough to make me abandon my boring reading, and I put down my book, ensuring there weren't any indiscreet ears in the library before I invited him to continue. It was very interesting. I wonder how old he is. I don't recall any like character profile aging, but the way it was described, like he's been a spy master for a minute, but I think this like MC's like in her early 20s, so I'm not sure. After he also made sure no one else was around, he pulled back his hood and resumed his explanations. As you know, I've asked to keep an eye on the 3 people aware of your father's death. However, barely 24 hours have passed, and I have been told the maid immediately went to a noble, the Baron Tobin of Lavoy, instead of leaving town. Did we tell her to leave town? Hold on. Wait, was the choice to leave town? Oh, hold on. It's now 2. Did we tell her? I thought we... How far can I go? Sure, the Lloyd probably in a much better position with some crown. You're really tempted. Can't believe it. Why? Was she supposed to leave town still with that choice? I conducted an investigation, and I almost sorry, and I'm almost positive the 2 are in a relationship. I've interrogated her colleagues, who confirms that she's had a rich benefactor for a few months already, and everything hints at his name. All right, I guess all that was correct. I should have just killed everyone. That's wild. For a man? For a man? You doing that for a man? You risking your position for a man? It's wild. I didn't really care about my servant's romantic endeavors, but I wanted to know where he was going with this. Are you afraid she'll speak? Yes, and I'm afraid the Baron will want to use that information to glean more power. Is he trying to blackmail us? No, we've had nothing of the sort, but tonight he's holding a party to which half of the nobles currently in the capital are invited. That cannot be a coincidence. No event justifies for such a party to be improvised. It's improper. I admit this situation is very odd, but do we have any proof? Unfortunately, no, Majesty. Only suspicions. Alright, watch them then. Damn. Y'all panicking and shit. Got me worried and shit. Watch them. That's not... in here like something already happened. Watch them. I took a few deep breaths while I pondered the situation and calculated the risk. If these allegations happen to be true, I would be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Not only would my plan to gain time fail utterly, but everyone would know of my deception. Moreover, she didn't speak. Now that I knew of the maid's allegiance, I wasn't sure it was a good idea to give her a better position down the line. I would give her more opportunities to spy on me for the Baron. What are our options? There aren't many, Majesty. Either we do nothing and wait to see what happens while preparing to counteract possible rumors, or we have them both assassinated to eliminate any risk of leaks. But the Baron is an influential man. There are fewer chances of his death passing unnoticed than that of a simple servant. tired, I massage my temples to help me think about the best course of action in this situation. That was most definitely the best way to stop someone from talking. Listen. My philosophy is, if you start stacking up the bodies too high, you can't hide them in the cellar anymore. It becomes a problem. It starts to stink. That was most definitely the best way to stop someone from talking, but the reason I want to avoid such method in the first place is because they disgusted me. They could well have unwelcome repercussions for me. They really could. Would allying myself with the Baron be a possibility? It's true that this information will give him power, but not as much as having an empress owe him a favor. I think it could work, but do you really want to start your rule indebted to such an ambitious man? That was indeed the risk. I could always double-cross him once the danger had passed, but that would undeniably have after effects. For a man, you're risking a position for a man, and first of all, what's wild is she's a servant. She's a servant. For a man, you're a servant. What are you risking it for? He's gonna get bored of you. He can't marry you. He's a baron. He can't marry you. Stand up, girl. Stand up. What the fuck? Do we have an idea of what he wants? I'd like to know what I'm getting myself into. If I had a few days, I would have been able to tell you, but I can't answer you in time for the party. Sighing once more, I closed my eyes to better contemplate my options. You'll always want murder. Oh, this is military and nobility? I despise to have to resort to a solution, but because the servant hasn't been trustworthy, I don't have much of a choice. Have them murdered before tonight and make sure this can't be traced. No, I don't like that. When one plays, one must expect to lose. I'm ready to accept the consequence of my actions, even if it won't be easy. I'm afraid of trying to fix things will only make them worse. I don't want to fall into such a vicious cycle. I'll wait to see what happens. We should prepare at best we can for what is to come. Or, right now, what matters most is to solve this issue. If the Baron demands more than he is owed, after all is said and done, we'll decide what to do with him. But he might behave reasonably, which would mark the start of a fruitful alliance. We won't know until we try. We at least have to attempt to reason with him. That's 3 whole influence. That's 3 whole I mean, I have a lot of it. I am more comfortable knowing that there is a snake than not knowing there's a snake. You know what I mean? Murdering really piles up really fast. It piles up real fast, really fast. I don't really want to do like nothing. I am worried of this, like, because they're not sure she said anything. Excuse me. They're not sure she said anything. So what if this tips them off? I'd rather know I have a snake than not know at all. I'd rather know I have a snake. I'd like to share your optimism, Your Grace, but the Baron of Lavoie never seemed a reasonable man to me. Well, in any case, I bend to your will. This is not about him being reasonable. I want to see the snake in front of me. Since Advisor Alden is more adept at this sort of negotiations, I will inform him and let him lead the discussion. Nevertheless, I'll stay at the ready in case the bear refuses to listen to reason. You know what? I fucks with you. Alright. I fucks with it, alright. If we have to cut off the snake's head, then we will. if we don't have to, if we don't gotta, that's okay. Very well. I'm counting on you. The Master of Murmurs gave me an elegant bow and departed, leaving me alone once more, with doubts gnawing at my mind. I waited for the end of the day with more nervousness than usual, unable to concentrate, fearing the arrival of the Master of Murmurs as much as I hoped for it. Listen, if I have to give out nobility to someone a third time because this keeps tangling up, I will do the murder. Because if y'all don't learn your lesson now, you will learn it. I'll make you learn it forcibly, painfully. It was already late when Alden knocked on my door to inform me of the evolution of the situation. I was convinced a man like the Baron would be in favor of some arrangement, but there were so many things that could go wrong. Your Grace, I've spoken to the Baron of Lavoy, who turned out to be quite stingy with his information. To my greatest shame, I am unable to tell you what he knows exactly. He's remained very vague on the subject, but he clearly hinted at having information that could harm you. I did as you wish, and suggested if he supports your ascension to the throne, he'll have your eternal gratitude. He accepted it in principle, but he seemed to doubt that you intend to uphold your side of the bargain. He's asking for a guarantee. A guarantee? Alden nodded with a sigh. He wants a document written and signed by your hand to make this alliance official. I couldn't blame him for doubting my honor. After all, I had considered breaking my promise if the price to pay for upholding it was too high. What he asked me was impossible. I can't do that. That would mean admitting to my schemes. At the moment, all he's got is the word of a servant, and no proof that I am directly involved. I won't hand it to him on a silver platter. I wholeheartedly agree with you, but those are his terms. Man. All right. Okay. If you want the sword, okay. Exasperated, I took in a deep breath before grabbing a sheet of paper and some ink from my desk. Girl, no. No. I guess that's fair, but still. I'll write him a letter in which I declare that I owe him a favor for services rendered, without giving any details. This should be enough to prove my goodwill, and if it doesn't suit him, it means deep down he never wanted to commit to this arrangement in the first place. We won't have any choice then but to use your methods. Very well, Majesty. I'll bring it to him right away. Thank you, Alden. I'm sorry to use you as a courier. It's beneath you. He gave an amused laugh. Oh, you'd be surprised, Majesty. This has often been my exact role. Back alley dealin'. I dozed off, seated at my desk, when someone knocked at my door once more, and I woke up with a start. So, Alden, how did it go? It seemed he had spent hours on the task, which was rather worrisome, but he had come back without the letter I had written. He accepted the compromise. For the time being, he doesn't want anything in particular, but I trust him to let us know when he's ready to claim his favor. And the party, it must be in full swing at this time of night. I don't know if his main goal was to harm you, but in any case, he had another excuse ready. He announced his engagement to the noble from Vargas, Dame Lilia of Valentum. See? Where is that maid? Where, you see? You see? You see? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Stand up, girl. Do you see how easily he'll dispose of you? Stand up. Stand up. Where is she? For a man, girl. You see what he did to you? Do you see what he did to you? Aren't you happy now that I promised you a higher station? Like, what is this? What a fool. I don't want to give her a higher station. A fool. A fool. Let a man. Right? So, like, your status is your bag, right? In this system, right? Your status is your bag. Let a man fuck with her bag? With her bag? Girl. Mess for nothing. I nodded with a sigh. I didn't know when this would all come back to bite me again, but at least the situation was under control. Now, I really feel like murder would have been so catastrophic. Thank you for your help, Alden. Oh, my nose. My pleasure, Your Grace. We'll continue to keep a close eye on him, but you can relax for now. Smiling, I nodded, aware that I was in dire need of sleep after so many strong emotions. Day 10? I slept the whole day? Wasn't it day 8? Your Grace, this is a little premature, but should you become Empress, you will need to manage the kingdom's policies. I'd like to make sure that you're ready for such a task. Interesting. I do believe I can always learn more. Okay, so skip this sort of, I need to know how to do it. As you already know, the kingdom's policies influence how your subjects, noble or otherwise, view you, but also what resources will be available to us. You can set tax rates for the people and the nobility. As you may have guessed, the higher they are, the less happy the people will be, but the faster the coffers will fill up. Let's tax the rich, baby. But there are many other things, much more subtle. For example, you can decide how open to trade our borders should be, or which sectors of the economy you'd like to focus on. You must also consider how to protect ourselves from our neighbors, especially bearing in mind Vargas's warlike inclinations. But maintaining an army is very, very expensive. As such, investing in diplomacy may offer better results in the long run. And finally, we have to manage the cardinals. Their influence on the people is immense, and they have infrastructure all over the nation. Offerings made to them are never wasted. We set up regular periods of time during which we collect earnings, but there will be a short delay before the consequences of any changes you make can be seen. The story alternates with phases of gameplay, which are triggered between two scenes. During these phases, you will be able, among other things, to modify your kingdom's general policies. Gains will be distributed at the end of the gameplay phase. Oh. Is that clearer now? Yeah, thanks, buddy. Excuse me. Yes, even if it's all very theoretical. Very theoretical. That's true, but the best way to approach the subject is in a more concrete manner is to look into it yourself. Even if I'll only be doing this work after my coronation, may I try my hand at it now? I'm sure there are things I'd like to change in my father's policies. That sounds most excellent to me. Ooh! We don't need to do that now. So it's moderate right now for taxes. I can't right now. I can't. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I have a total. I have -5 people, 0 nobility, 1 money, 2 fate, 1 army, 2 resources, 2 influence. It seems we should probably. What does minimum do? That minuses a lot of nobility. +5 Oh. Well, we don't need to do that right now, so cordial seems fine. What does free do? Foreign trades can freely come to sell and buy. We don't have a reason yet. Heavy taxes are levied, small taxes are levied. It gives me 3 money. Gives me 3 money and 5 nobility. Minus 2 resources. I think 3 is fine for now because, like, we don't have a reason to. They said there's that guy who's got a penchant for war, but hey, if you know, a little economy boom, just a little bit. What? Dismantle my army, put Alexander out of a job. You recruit new soldiers and expand your army. I feel like I don't need to do that now. This one's interesting. So crafts. You'll focus on craftsmanship, especially luxury items. Resources. Your economy will be focused on the exploitation of raw resources. Farming. Your economy will be focused on agriculture and food. I feel like we should do a little farming right now. Resources are cool and all, but people need to eat. We'll maintain the army at that level. We don't need to change our diplomacy right now. I think that maybe it wouldn't count for looking suspicious, but being cordial seems fine. And I want to test out this free trade. That seems interesting. Send the people to school. No, moderate is fine. That gives us more people? That takes all my money. Moderate is fine right now. Okay, we got a boost in money because of the free trade right now, which seems okay. And we need to do some farming, especially if we're not going to focus on resources and crafts right now. And then no money. Stop taking my money. So much nobility. I'll leave the army at maintain right now. Because it's fine. It's fine, I think. We don't need to do anything with the taxes right now. Okay. Day 15. Did that affect my stuff here? I don't remember what I had. I don't think so. Maybe. Your Highness, Your Highness. Dawn had barely risen, and I heard a kerfuffle at the door, and I immediately recognized Robert's voice. I got up with a groan and quickly slipped on a dress, trying to make myself presentable before opening the door. High Priest, what's going on? I tried to remain as neutral as possible, but I was burning up with a mix of anxiety and excitement, because I had a solid guess as to what this was about. The Quadrador, he answered, Your Majesty. Nervous, he handed me 2 letters bearing the recognizable seal of His Holiness. Your name is written on them. I didn't dare open them, Your Highness. Exhilarated, I looked at the 2 pieces of paper that were about to seal my future. One seemed official, while the other was explicitly for my eyes only. I would have liked to be alone when reading them both, but clearly I had taken Robert all he had not to break the wax seal on the official letter. And now he stared at me impatiently. My throat was dry as I grabbed a paper cutter to open the correspondence, and my heart was beating so fast I had the impression everyone in the room could hear it. Ooh la la. Lady Dion of Terranfell, daughter of Magnus V of Terranfell the Fierce, Emperor of Calidia. The 4 have spoken and have recognized you as the legitimate heir of the crown of Calidia, by virtue of your blood and despite your gender. Every second of the day, how dare you be a woman? By this decree, I convey the word of the gods. May your governance be respected by all, the just and the pious. May your rule prosper and never stray from the forest fade. My God, what's that? Vermeer Quadrador by the grace of the 4. Second letter say. I was shaking so hard I felt my legs give in, and I had to sit on my bed so I didn't fall over. I had done everything in my power to make this moment happen, but now that it was upon me, I was engulfed by all the emotions I had accumulated in the past week. Robert seemed to understand me, and he bowed to leave me a few long seconds so I could take in the Quadrilate's words. Finally, he spoke up. That's marvelous, Your Majesty. I knew the Four would acknowledge your legitimacy. Almost timidly, I nodded and tried to recover my usual composure. With the Quadrilate's support, my coronation was sure to happen. But that didn't mean I was rid of enemies or the contenders. I couldn't let my guard down yet. Yes. The time has come for everyone to know the truth. Gather the nobles in the castle at dawn and prepare the pigeons. He nodded, a grave expression on his face. Yes, we can't wait any longer. The secret of your father's death could have been kept indefinitely in any case. It was true that his absence had been going on for a while, and a possible illness worried people just as much as a possible death. It was fortunate that these letters hadn't taken too long to arrive. I'll be there. I need to finish getting ready. Of course, Your Majesty. I'll have the bells rung, but at such an early time, I don't suppose we can gather everyone in less than an hour. I approved with a polite nod, and soon I watched him leave and close the door. Girlie, you did it! Let's go! You did it, girlie! Finally on my own, I collapsed on the bed and let myself gloat. I whooped in pure, childish joy as I read the Quadrilate's letter over and over again. I knew that I had plenty of challenges ahead of me, but this was my first victory against traditions, and I intended to savor it for as long as I could. Only after a few long minutes had passed did I decide to open the second letter, which was addressed to me personally. Ew, did he like it? Lady Dion of Terranfell, thank you for your generous donation to Meridian's great temple. Please know that I never forget my friends. I'm sure we'll get along marvelously. See, we didn't need to blackmail him. We didn't need to blackmail him yet. Happy with my decision, I sighed and carefully put the letter away into my desk. Pretty promises were easy to forget. I could perhaps use the parchment to remind him of his support one day, or to show to some reluctant noble just how popular I was with one of the most powerful men on the continent. In any case, I believe that my actions had managed to sway him, and I was quite proud of that. Imagine, I don't think they would do that, but... Excuse me. I don't think they would do that, but imagine if we had blackmailed him and it was like game over. He was like, how dare you? How dare you? We found an heir. Get out of here. Get out of here, you wench. You'll be exiled. Now was the court I had to sway, and I knew this wasn't going to be an easy task. It's the afternoon on day 18. Ooh, I wonder if like the flowers like change. Ooh. It's MILF time, I guess. Make sure not to overexert yourself, Dion. You're spending your days locked up in this office. You should get out a bit to clear your head. Come, take a walk with this old lady. I'd left the door open, and although I hadn't heard Marjorie come over to me, I wasn't surprised since her perfume, which she applied too liberally, had filled the room. I almost felt nostalgic for a moment. Even if it made me happy to see her, her presence in my office wasn't guided by fun. I was overwhelmed with invitations, requests, promises. I had spent the past 3 days flattering the Calidian nobility to ensure that nothing would jeopardize my coronation in 3 weeks' time, and I still had a lot left to do. Oh, perhaps you can fool everyone else, but I know you're far from being an old lady, Marjorie. My reply made her laugh, a hoarse and joyous sound that belied what I had just said. Are you saying the hoarse laughter means you're old? Oh, I still have the same quick wit I had when I was 20, but I'm afraid my whining bones disagree with you, sweetheart. Come on, don't be cruel. You already broke my poor heart when you didn't let me in on the secret. I put my quill down with a sigh and closed the inkwell, hoping its content would not dry out. She had taught me many things, and even if I had grown stronger than her in a few areas, it was obvious that she still used guilt like no one else. She almost made me feel bad for hiding my father's debt from her. You know full well I didn't have a choice. The information had to be disclosed to as few people as possible. I know, sweetheart. But I would have liked to be there for you. These past few days mustn't have been easy. No, they weren't indeed. As promised, I quietly walked by Marjorie's side through the garden. We couldn't take one step before some servant or noble offered me their condolences. I'm so tired of pretending to be sad. I know your father was a man of many flaws, but he was your family, your blood. You shouldn't hate him this vividly. It's not healthy, especially now that he's dead. No, that's too easy. You can't just die and expect that all your mistakes will be forgiven. Exactly. Hold that hate in your heart. Hold it in your heart. Be petty in the afterlife. She sighed, and I decided to change the subject before I had to listen to another lecture on the importance of family bonds. What family bonds matter to me if he killed my brother? If there is a high possibility he killed my brother, would it matter to me? But since we're speaking of forgiveness, I need your help. Suspicious, she frowned, although she kept walking calmly between the flower beds. I would like it if you gave me Fiacastel. That old dilapidated fortress. What for? Pretending to admire some insects that were flying around the planters, I hesitated for a second. I needed the fortress to buy the Faram's loyalty, but Marjorie held a deep hatred for them. Don't be xenophobic, lady. I didn't like lying to her, but I couldn't run the risk that she'd refuse my request. She already didn't like that we kept one secret. Let's see what happens when we tell her the truth. I need it because I'm going to give it back to the Faram. Upon hearing my words, Marjorie froze, trembling with anger. You want to give back to those vile traitors? Do you know how many men died storming it? Do you know what this fortress cost me? I knew she would react that way. Even though the war had ended about 20 years ago, she still bore painful memories of it. Yes, I know all that. But it all took place before my birth. It's time we move forward and reconcile with the Faram, lest we repeat the mistakes of the past. I don't want another Faram revolt under my rule. I need their support for my coronation, and to obtain that support, I need Fiacastel. You know just as well as I do that it's only a ruin now, an old pile of rubble left on steep and barren land. It's nothing more than a symbol. My old aunt grumbled a few long minutes, but she was forced to concede my point, even if it cost her. Do what you want, but believe me, once you become Empress, I'll call in the favor. Girl. Fine, everybody want a favor, everybody want a piece of me, get in line. Thank you, Auntie, I guess. Thank you, Marjorie. I knew I could count on you. Relieved, I finally let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Knowing the affection Marjorie held for me, I knew that I'd end up convincing her. But as I had a meeting with the Faram heir in 4 days, I didn't have a lot of room for errors. With one less issue weighing on my heart, I continued my walk with a bounce in my step, forgetting for a few minutes the court's problems and plots. Heavy as the crown, huh? Day 22, the afternoon. This is my first time ever meeting Theodore of Faram. I had heard him described as a cold and distant man, but I still didn't expect him to be so glacial. Oh, it's a Byronic man. Look at him. Look at him. I'm kidding. I waited for him to deign reply to my meeting, as courtesy demanded, but the silence between us was deafening. He only stood there, staring at me, impassive, without even so much as a good morning or a nice to meet you, while I had to keep smiling not to lose face. Is this our resident tsundere? Consequently, I swallowed my pride and gestured to one of the chairs around the staff table, where a large map of Calidia had been laid out. I imagine you must be tired after such a long trip. Please, sit down. I thought he was going to stay standing there, but he did finally sit down without another word, while I took a seat not too far from him. Like I said in my letter, I'd like for the Terranfell and the Faram to reconcile. The tensions between our two families has lasted long enough, and I imagine sudden desire to make peace has nothing to do with your upcoming coronation. The Montilier are eating out of your hand, but the Volador would never support a woman, which means you very much need us. Okay, and aren't we nobles? Isn't this what we do? Isn't this what we do? Like, shut up. I hate an annoying man. Coming in as he was from a lineage with a somewhat barbaric reputation, he had done a fairly clever analysis of the situation. But I didn't let that stop me. Let's not give in to xenophobia here. Very much need is a bit strong. Should I remind you that I have the support of the cardinals? The people will follow me. That said, I do wish for my coronation to go as smoothly as possible, and the rest of my rule as well. I'd like to avoid bloodshed if at all possible, and I fear that the ancestral enmity between our two families might lead us to just that. Neither you nor I were born when the Faram revolt took place. It's up to us to decide if we want to perpetuate this cycle of conflict, or if we want to build something new. He took on a thoughtful expression and observed me with a renewed interest. It's easy for you to forget. You're on the side of the victors. You haven't been rehashing your resentment for 20 years. Precisely. Wouldn't it be easier for you to forget as well? Especially if it's been haunting you for that long. Even if we were inclined to consider your offer of reconciliation, how would we trust you? I won't give you a history lesson, but that revolt didn't happen for nothing. You was following me exactly where I was leading, and it took me some effort to repress a smile and keep a businesslike countenance. Firstly, I'm not the same person as my father or my grandfather. It's unfair to distrust me as a result of their actions. And secondly, I'm ready to make a gesture of goodwill if the Faram are ready to make one as well. I'm listening. If you openly support my ascent to the throne, I'm ready to return your family the fair castle citadel and the lands that go with it. This time, I savored a true surprise in his eyes when I handed him the deed I had taken the time to prepare. As you know, it was confiscated after the revolt, since it's located at a strategic crossroads between Terranfell and Montilier. I thought it would be a strong gesture to return it to you, but also quite a symbol of trust. After glancing over the singed pledge, Theodore looked at me once more, with defiance this time. There's no doubt that my family will appreciate the gesture. I was already basking in my victory when he continued, his voice cold. Not cold. Not cold. But as for me, it only makes me see that you're one of those politicians ready to use every dirty trick in the book if it will give you what you want. We're monarchs. What the fuck are you talking about? I had been warned that you're the rightful heir of that snake who used to lead the Montilier. But now I'm seeing it with my own eyes. So yes, indeed, we'll accept your offer and support your coronation. Because unlike you, we stick to our word, but you should know you're not fooling me. I'll remain at the palace to make sure you don't stab us in the back as soon as you've achieved your goals. What an unpleasant man. What an unpleasant man. Shut up. In the end, his analysis of the situation, or indeed of my character, wasn't as clever as I had thought. I was ambitious. There was no denying that. I wasn't shy about it either. But my desire to make peace was just as sincere. Sorry, this reminded me. I think I mentioned the other day. I haven't gotten to play D&D for a minute. But I really want to play like a diplomatic character, like in like a political intrigue game. I really want to play one that's like upset, like not upset, but like whose core character is like has a very violent past and is so steadfast on peace. Like a real like do not like disturb a sleeping lion kind of character. I truly want to do that. That'd be so fun. Like, do not test me. Stay at the castle if you wish. Dukes are welcome here at any time. But you'll get eaten alive by the cult if you always speak your mind so plainly, my lord. She said, use some tact. Use some tact. Speak carefully. He shrugged condescendingly before getting up. Not you being like a badgering man. Oh, I'm very capable of defending myself, Majesty. I just choose not to use the same venom as you do. That doesn't mean I don't know how to protect myself from its sting. I don't know, you sure don't talk pretty. No one liked being called a snake, but even it was unpleasant to be treated with such hostility by someone to whom I had never done anything. I had gotten what I wanted. I didn't wish to risk making him change his mind by starting an argument. Time will tell. I do hope you'll change your mind about me. But as long as the Faram uphold their end of the bargain, you're free to think whatever you like. Don't say that as if you were doing me a favor, Your Grace. Even empresses don't have dominion over people's thoughts. Girl, why are you still here? Go sneak around the castle. Like, shut up. And in order to keep me from having the last word in our pointless sparring, he immediately turned on his heel and slammed the door. What an unpleasant man! How unpleasant! Okay, I get it. I'm not like, I understand why he can be like, why he would feel that way. Because yeah, if you lost the war and that meant that they took your land and potentially we don't know what they're doing in this game, but potentially led to some form of oppression. I understand. I get it. I understand. That's where that comes from. But relax. Please relax. Unclench, Theodore. Unclench. That's all I need you to do. Unclench. Should I give him like... I don't know. I was like, should I give him a Slavic accent? I don't want it. I'm like, I could do it. A Western European accent. Anyways, but his name's Faram, so probably like more West Asian. Anyways, furious, I was engaged in deep breathing exercise when Alden walked in. How did things go with Theodore of Faram? I shrugged with a sigh. I suppose it was all right. At least the Faram should support my coronation. That's all that matters. How about you? Did you manage to convince Leon? Like you said, he won't support you. He thinks, and I quote, "It's a load of nonsense if we let this happen. Next thing we know, all the little ladies in Voldor will be getting ideas. My brother will agree with me on this." I was already quite upset, and I very much wanted to hit something, but instead, I settled for fiercely crumpling an old draft I was lying about. Knowing the man, I guess this would be coming. Have you at least convinced him not to openly oppose the coronation? Yes, as he suggested, I implied that a civil war wouldn't be good for business, and that you were easy to manipulate. Was that enough? Yes and no. The man's smarter than I thought. He took this as an opportunity to claim the position of treasurer. Does he know anything about money? Treasurer, look at him go. Since he believes you're incompetent, he thinks that's the only way for him to ensure that the country stays on the right track, and that the Voldor's economical interests are preserved. What are their economic interests? Ugh. All these annoying people. Upset, I bite my lips while I ponder the implications of such a nomination. I didn't want him to stand in my way at every council meeting, but there was no valid reason for me to refuse him this privilege either. I imagine before asking for that position, he encouraged the current treasurer to retire? That's correct. A pretty house by the seaside is waiting for him, and now he can't wait to be gone. I imagine we don't have a choice then. I'll summon Leon tomorrow and pretend to be a naive engineer who's happy to let him take on big responsibilities. I sighed heavily, and Alden took a step towards me, his expression worried. Are you sure you'll manage? Manage? No offense meant, Your Grace, but I know you. I fear it will be quite hard for you to play the role of a naive and fragile lady in front of him, especially in light of the obvious contempt he's always directing at women. Clearly, this won't be a barrel of fun, but I've spent my entire life pretending to be less dangerous than I am. I should be able to tolerate it. Just this once. He might have some nasty surprises down the line, however. I trust you, then. Yeah, trust me, Alden. It's okay. I got it. I have poison. I got it. Trust me. Your Grace, news of your nomination to the throne has spread quickly. We've received a letter addressed to you from the Queen of Mava of Israel. Ooh, another queen. My respects, Empress of Calidia. I wish to write to you so I could congratulate you on your recent nomination to the throne, as well as offer my condolences for your father's death. Assuming power is a heavy responsibility, but I have been told that you are very capable, and I know that Calidia is in good hands. Calidia and Israel have always maintained solid diplomatic relations. I hope that they will continue, nay, prosper under your rule. Up until now, the matriarchs have always been opposed to non-commercial negotiations, but your nomination has made them curious. We dare to believe that in your presence, my emissaries and myself will cease to be subjected to the patroning condescension that your predecessors invariably displayed. And that made my country's past rulers so wary of further interactions. You know, smart. When you see the misogyny on the throne like that, you're just like, it's just smart to be tentative. The gods whisper to me that your ascension to the throne signals the dawn of a new era for the continent. Therefore, I wish to support you as much as I can. With the matriarch's assent, I have decided to mandate that an emissary whose role it will be to liaise between our two nations. Her name is Asha. What is it? Isabi? Asha Isabi? She's an exceptional woman who I hope will be welcomed into your palace as she deserves. Oh my gosh, if I'm remembering Asha correctly, she's so pretty. With all my sympathy, Mava, Queen of Israel. Ew, another queen. That's wonderful news. I'll need as many allies as possible during my rule. Indeed, diplomacy is a delicate art, but it's fundamental for Calidia's prosperity. You'll need to woo the neighboring countries and ensure their goodwill towards us. Ooh, diplomacy not yet implemented. But we'll talk about that later. For now, we have a coronation to organize. I'm put some lip balm. Oh, damn, day 36 already. Woo, time is flying. Do I have, what they said, like at the end of the quarter, my resources would be affected, right? Okay. The big day has finally come. Impatient and nervous, I paced my bedroom while checking my hair and my outfit for the umpteenth time. Hold up. Sorry, you guys know if I'm not stuffy, I have to burp. It's all the extra air I'm intaking. Nothing was easy. As per usual, I was supposed to display poise, elegance, and grandeur, all while remaining humble. All right, then. Despite all that, I felt ready and dignified, and I only waited to hear from Alexander, who would escort me since my father wasn't in a state to do so. Ooh. Nice. Nice. Because he had on his I want to call them pajamas, but he had on a blue formal wear. Time was passing by at an infuriatingly slow pace when finally he knocked and walked into the room, clad in his ceremonial attire. That armor and the pompous cape that went with it didn't suit him, and I suppressed a smile when I saw him squeezed into it. He gives me very much he just has he's just puppy vibes. Ready, Your Grace. Almost timidly, I nodded while he politely bowed to let me pass in front of him. Then he followed suit, respectfully walking one step behind. Who are my suitors anyways? She said we had many suitors. Her Grace, Dion of Terranville, Princess of Calidia, blessed by Horel. Ooh, is that too loud for you? Hold on. Those trumpets, the brass. I closed my eyes and savored this title that I was hearing for the last time. When the herald would announce me next, I would be Empress of Calidia. Ew. I didn't remember having ever seen the throne room this packed. Clearly I had been told that the entire castle had gathered here. It hadn't been an exaggeration. To try and hide my nervousness, I walked at a slow pace, my head held high, my eyes leveled at the throne. But my curiosity slowly got the better of me, and while I tried to remain as dignified as I could, I let my gaze wander discreetly, in search of familiar faces. Alden, of course, stood right next to my throne, his face impassive, but his eyes bright enough that I could see the pride reflected in them. Aww. We love to see it. Robert was there too, my future crown already held in his hands. He did his best to appear as imposing as his function required him to be. Ooh, there he is. In the noble section, I recognized Leon. Oh my gosh, you are opposing me? I can't believe this. I can't believe you would do this. I can't believe you would do this. We were supposed to be brothers. In the noble section, I recognized Leon of Voldor, surrounded by his family, conversing with other nobles who were vaguely familiar to me. Can't believe you would do this to me. I can't believe you would do this to me. I forgot who Leon was. They had like a whole personality test. Like, which character are you? And I got Leon. I can't believe this. The betrayal of it all. We gotta go. We're gonna listen. Any game where anyone's hostile to me, we are gonna forcibly slap kindness into their hearts. All right, we're gonna fix these men. To my surprise, I also spotted Theodore leaning against a pillar, his gloomy aura seeming to hold people at bay so that he wasn't drowning in unknown faces. As I passed by her, Marjorie gave me a smile, and I felt her perfume reach me, calming me despite its loud scent. Finally, the last step stretched before me, and I suddenly realized that I couldn't hear the crowd's hubbub anymore. The only sound was my heart beating in my temples. Ceremoniously, I knelt in front of this throne that was still forbidden to me. Soon I had cause to praise whomever had the brilliant idea to place a small cushion under my knees. The blessings were proceeding at an infuriatingly slow pace. Ugh. I listened to them with only half an ear, but I still displayed my most serious and focused face to honor the solemnity of the ceremony. The day before, Robert had asked me if I wanted to celebrate tradition by taking the name of one of my predecessors, or if I'd rather start my own dynasty. Oh, nah, fuck the ancestors. Let's go. It's a new time. It's a new reign. I hate my daddy anyway. Let's go. Let's get it. I understood the importance of traditions, but I was much too proud of who I was to give up my name, my identity. I wanted to carry it with pride for as long as I would rule. I didn't know the sermon by heart, but I knew it would soon be ending, since the whole place seemed to grow livelier. With each passing second, both the crowd and Robert's voice vibrated with renewed excitement until the key moment came. I closed my eyes and braced myself for the weight of the surprisingly light crown that he delicately placed upon my head. Ooh! Isn't it more of like a diadem? That kind of crown? Rise up, Dion of Terranfell, Empress of Calidia, first of her name, Duchess of Terranfell, chosen by the Four and blessed by Harel. You shall bow no longer, since from this day and until your death, in the name of the gods, I entrust you with the charge of guiding your subjects and making Calidia shine bright for decades to come. Let's get it, let's go, let's get it. Slowly, I rose and turned around to sit on that throne that had been meant for me. And I opened my eyes to look at the crowd. It suddenly went quiet. An almost religious silence settled in for a few seconds. What did I see just now? What else doesn't matter? Oh my gosh. Alright. Should I say the first? Long live Empress Dion the First. One? I? Dion I? Alexander's voice resounded next to me, oddly loud. As it shattered this almost dreamlike moment, chairs arose from all sides in the spectacular chaos. The general enthusiasm was contagious, and I caught myself smiling and waving at the crowd with a bit too much vigor. Let's go, let's get it. Fuck them old heads, let's go. We're the first of our name, let's go. The party was in full swing, and if I was still beaming, my head was starting to hurt with the incessant solicitations of people come to pay their respects. Let me speak to Leon. I can't believe it. I forgot everyone's name. I forgot, like, I've seen the characters. I forgot everyone's. I can't believe it was him. My brother. Why? My brother. Why? You should employ this empty glass into a flower pot and ask one of the servants to pour you grape juice instead. Or maybe I had too much wine. If I was being honest, I couldn't remember how many times my glass had been refilled. But one thing I knew. It had never stayed empty. Oh no, you're wasted. Even if Margie was probably right, I pouted. I would rather grape juice, honestly. Personally. Although, if I don't have to listen to people. But grape juice is so nice. Come on, Marjorie. Am I not allowed to have a bit of fun? It is my coronation day, after all. She shook her head with a tender smile. You can't do this precisely because it's your coronation day, sweetheart. Some people might be subtler about it than others, but everyone is watching you and judging you. She was right, and I knew it. I let myself relax, perhaps a bit too much, carried away by my enthusiasm. That acknowledgement didn't stop me from heaving a deep sigh of despair. I'm truly wondering where my poison is. Well, I didn't come here to coddle you. I know you're perfectly capable of managing the situation. I just wanted to officially congratulate you. No one deserves this title more than you, and you'll make an incredible empress. Her face sparkled with pride and affection, and I felt my heart melt under her praise. Her opinion had always mattered a lot to me, and I felt myself go back to the little girl I once was, who always sought her approval. I hesitated for an instant, but finally, I let myself hug her, making sure not to spill my glass on her in the process. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for everything. She kindly stroked my hair, and I stayed in her embrace for a few moments, just long enough to regain control of my emotions, which were threatening to make me cry. Yeah, you need some grape juice, girly. She gently patted my back to remind me of my duties, and I finally let go of her, my face now wearing a more neutral expression. Go on, sweetheart. I won't keep you any longer. People are queuing to talk to you. She was right. As much as they tried to hide it, many people stood nearby, waiting for an opportunity to pounce on me as soon as I'd be free. There she is. She's so pretty. The quickest to mark was a young woman I'd never seen before. One look at the pretty dreadlocks she sported, decorated with small golden jewels, told me her background. I'm not sure yet. I'll just try to do a variation. Magnificent coronation, Your Grace. Her melodious accent convinced me I was right, and I flashed her a courteous smile. Thank you, Lady Asha, are you not? She seemed surprised for a second, then her face lit up. She's so pretty. She's so pretty, I'm dying. Hold on. She's so pretty. Well, I'm flattered you recognized me before I could even introduce myself. Maybe I should roll the R's a little bit. I don't know who spoke of me to you, but I hope they said good things. She gave a small laugh, and as if to brush off this pleasantry, which I knew had a much deeper meaning. After all, I had indeed heard a lot about her, both from Queen Maeva, who had warmly recommended her to me, and from Robert, who had tried to paint her as an ungodly heathen and temptress the minute she had set foot in the capital. Hold on now, what's going on? Robert, you are a man of God. What are you talking about? How dare you? What? A heathen? What, she don't worship the four gods? She's from a different country, you weirdo. Of course, your queen keeps showering you with praise. Then allow me to return her kindness, to tell you how fantastic Maeva is. She'll make a formidable ally. Her familiar way of talking about her ruler made me quirk an eyebrow, but I didn't mention it. After all, Isrian customs were much different from ours, and her relationship with her queen was none of my concern. As long as she didn't use the same casual tone while talking about Khalidian nobility, there would be no issue. In any case, I do hope Khalidia is to your liking, Lady Asha. Unfortunately, I still haven't had the same visit. The same time. I still haven't had the time to visit your beautiful lands to taste your many specialties. Therefore, the question may be a bit premature. She gave me a smile, but it didn't reach her eyes, which made me see that her answer was an elegant way not to speak ill of the place without lying. Now that it was my castle and my nation, it did upset me a little, but I couldn't be mad at her for finding the place a bit drab. My father had never had a keen eye for interior design. She said it's ugly in here. I was about to ask her more feudal questions when Robert stepped into the space between us. Robert! The gesture was overtly rude, but his position allowed him to act in that manner, and I turned away from Asha to listen to what he had to say. Your Majesty, please forgive my interrupting, but I must speak with you on a topic of the utmost importance. He barely hid the dirty look he gave Asha. She understood the message and gracefully curtsied. Wow. We will change the xenophobia today. No more xenophobia. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop it. I'll go breathe some fresh air in the gardens. If you'll excuse me, Your Majesty. I don't know where that accent is going. We'll figure it out. I eventually took note of where to find her if I wanted to continue the conversation, and bowed to her in lieu of goodbye. Then I focused my attention on Robert, wondering with some trepidation if something bad had happened. What's going on? Don't worry, Your Majesty. Nothing that will spoil your night. I just wanted to make sure that you were taking my warnings about the Syrian diplomat seriously. I didn't even get a full conversation out of her, Robert. I didn't even get a full conversation out of her. We're gonna make a culture sensitivity class. It's ridiculous. I didn't even get a full. What's that? You need to start counting. All right, you need to start counting to 63 times. Like, what is this? I don't find her trustworthy at all. I had to hold back a sigh. It was quite distressing to see him go to such trouble, only to interrupt my conversation with a foreign dignitary. Please be comforted. She wasn't inviting me to dance naked in the sea in honor of the snake goddess Sif. I had said that in a playful tone, hoping to lighten the mood, but he looked even more upset. You should take this issue at heart. These people are insidious. They seem nice, you let your guard down, and by the time you realize you've fallen into the trap of a witch, it's much too late. So bold, Robert. I didn't have the patience to hear more of this, and I took an offended expression. Do you believe my fate could be so easily shaken, High Priest? Taken aback, he immediately softened and apologized profusely. I relaxed in turn. I'm taking note of your worries, and I promise I'll be careful. But you must also understand that you simply cannot say such things about a foreign guest, especially not in public. This could have serious diplomatic consequences. He scowled once more but didn't say a word, politely bowing instead. You're not the politician, Robert. I am. That's crazy. He really said, you couldn't wait to go indoors. He really said, at the function, we are openly detesting people. I understand, Your Grace. A short silence passed between us before he turned away, mumbling something about prayers he had to make. I know Robert has a face, but I really have not thought about his voice, and now I'm annoyed and I don't want to. For the first time of the night, I found myself alone. Excuse me. And no one came to talk to me, perhaps for fear of getting caught in the fallout from this tense conversation. I enjoyed that respite and decided to go talk to... I'm gonna go talk to Asha, like... That's wild. That's wild. He was so rude to her. I'm sure everybody been rude to her. I was very aware of how ironic it felt to meet up with Asha to continue our conversation. Robert's words buried in a deep, dark corner of my mind, as if they had never existed in the first place. Like she had mentioned, she was enjoying the fresh breeze in the gardens, and I had no trouble finding her. She was leaning against the, what's that, balustrade of the gazebo. Wait, what time is it? Hold on. Let me save. I should take a break. I've been reading nonstop. I should take a break. Okay. I'll be back in like 5, because I do want to try to finish the demo tonight. So we'll see how long it goes for. I will be back. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm back. I hope everyone else also took a little breaky break. Got some water if you need it, maybe a snacky. I truly don't know how long the demo is. We might be like approaching on the end. I think like we meet all the characters and then it's over. I could reach the itch. The itch. Yeah. Sorry, I immediately opened it. Oh, okay, I see. The game is expected, excuse me, projected to come out winter 2023. If anyone's enjoying it so far. Okay. Let's return. Why am I coughing all of a sudden? I just got back here. Casually, I came closer, and I leaned next to her, admiring the stars. I'm terribly sorry for that rude interruption, but one can't keep the gods waiting, as the saying goes. Oh my god, hold on. I'm dying. I came back and I'm dying. Hold on. Okay, I'm no longer dying. The little phrase was supposed to lighten the mood, but Asha gave me an indecipherable look that piqued my curiosity. Forgive me, I know your customs, but some of them are very hard for me to grasp. You mean the fact that we have different gods? To my great surprise, she shook her head, making her dreadlocks dance around her. I lied, I'm dying again for some reason. Okay, it seems fine. No, We have so many gods. I wouldn't be surprised if yours existed in some way in our pantheon. It's rather the concept of priest that baffles me. Gods are all powerful beings. Why would they lend their voice to fallible humans? Ooh, she asking the right questions. Hold on. I'm drinking as much water as possible. If they have anything to say to anyone, ours speak directly to the person in question, without the risky interference of a go-between. Clearly, I wasn't expecting that line of thinking, and my mind fogged up as it was by alcohol. Didn't help me find convincing arguments. That irritated me quite a bit, as I always disliked not having the final word. Asha must have mistaken the nature of my contrariety, and she flashed me her most beautifully contrite smile. But I am rambling. There are so many more interesting things to talk about, especially tonight. Like your magnificent coronation, or this delicious wine from the islands that you've been serving, for example. I love her jewelry so much. I want to be from where Asha's from. I usually wasn't one for small talk, but I couldn't get enough of her melodious accent, which emphasized her impeccable pronunciation. Almost by instinct, I swirled the contents of my wine glass, which I had been foolishly holding untouched, since Marjorie had warned me. At least this time, it allowed me to get to know my interlocutor. You're right. It is good. It is of Arisian import, isn't it? She swirled the wine around in her own glass, her gesture practiced and skillful, before taking a little sip, her eyes closed. Yes, without a doubt. Black Castle, even. Half doubtful, half impressed, I didn't hide my surprise. This wine really tastes different. Everyone be honest. This wine really tastes... Those of you not sensitive to the tannins, this wine really tastes different besides being like, oh, this is red wine, this is white wine, this is champagne. It tastes that different. That's wild. You can tell where it's from, just like that. Yes, before working for Queen Maeva, I was a trader in that field. In fact, my travels were the reason I discovered your culture and learned your language. Once more, I looked at her, intrigued and impressed. You sail? Numerous superstitions made it so that women were unwelcome on board the ships in Calidia. Just imagining her on the seas was breathtaking. I'm pretty sure Asha's a romance. Asha, we gotta romance Asha. We gotta do it. Oh no, I don't have any seafaring skills. I'm incapable of reading a map or using a sextant. I leave that to the captain. I only take care of the products, or rather, I used to only take care of the products. How impressive. You look as young as me, and yet you seem to have led a much more eventful life. My reply seemed to surprise her, and she tilted her head to the side, making the metal beads in her hair chime. I think you're a bit younger than I am, Your Grace, and besides, you're Empress. The title made me smile, almost despite myself, but it didn't entirely remove the melancholy from my voice. From today only. I could only guess the life she had led, but I felt frustrated and compassion to have waited all these years in the shadows. All I had done was study and place the rare pawns at my disposal in the best way I could to prepare my coronation. I do wonder, like, if you choose like the war option or like, you know, the other options, how much that affects the flavor type. Maybe I'll see. Maybe I'll choose a different one in my full playthrough. We'll see. Without the stroke of luck that had ended my father's life prematurely, I could have waited much longer. The scholars always said he was as healthy as a horse. Ugh. Waiting for him to die. Terrible. Oh, this is so cute. Oh man, I think I'll go with like an even darker, the darkest shade next time, because this is not the lighting I expect. What the heck? Solemnly, she held out her glass to invite me to toast and looked in my eye. Oh, she's so pretty. Look at her. She's styling. But you'll rule for a great many years to come, and I'm glad to be here in Calidia to witness it, Majesty. She seemed sincere, and somehow her words managed to lighten my heart, while our glasses clinked against one another. She was right. Holding on to the past was useless. I had to look to the future, now that I truly had the power to change it. And I'm glad to have you by my side as well, Asha. I hope that the bonds between Etheria and Calidia will be strengthened thanks to your presence. I'll do my best, Your Grace. There was a short silence while we sized each other up and happily recognized in each other the same wit and the same strength of character. Finally, she lifted the glass to her lips and drained it with a sensual sort of elegance. I set aside Marjorie's advice for a second and followed suit. This party was, after all, held in my honor, and I wanted to savor a good glass of wine in good company under the stars. Yeah, let's get it, women! Happy Pride, everyone! Women! Honey, little boy, come here. Come here. What are you doing? Making noise? He's eating again. Your Grace, as you surely know, an essential task that comes with your role as a ruler is to listen to your subjects' petitions. They've accumulated since your father's death, and even before, he was never very fond of that duty. Now that you've been crowned, you'll need to dedicate them a fair share of your time. Ugh, Papa sucked. What did he even do? What did he even do? If he left these for me, what did he even do? Worthless. In the dirt with the worms where he belongs. What do you even do, man? It is especially important because the other advisors and myself have gotten used to lodging petitions on matters that require your attention, but do not fit in the council's agenda. Sure, explain it to me. All of this is very new to me. I won't say no to further explanation. Petitions are matters that require your informed judgment, whether they pertain to trials, grant requests, or other various issues. The other advisors and myself are usually tasked with submitting them, but we may also pass on requests coming directly from your subjects. I divide them into two stacks, urgent affairs and current affairs. Of course, urgent affairs must be attended as soon as possible. I've added an exclamation mark to the stack for more clarity. As long as all urgent affairs haven't been dealt with, I won't give you any current affairs, so as not to distract you with futile matters. Interesting. I do appreciate that because my play style is like I put 10 toes down, gotta look at all of it all at once. As with everything that requires your input, petitions may necessitate the mobilization of certain resources, but don't forget that they can also offer opportunities. Good decisions can turn out to be quite lucrative. Finally, you must keep in mind that improving the living conditions of your people will ensure their affection for you and, in the long run, will contribute to the realm's prosperity. Is that clear? It sure is. It all makes sense. Let's go. Perfect. I suggest that you deal with one of mine first. It's an issue that has been on my mind for a while. He took a moment to rummage through the items on the table before handing me a sealed parchment roll. Here you go. Well then, I'll let you study that on your own and go about your business. Feel free to go through more of them, so you can grow familiar with the process. You'll be informed of their outcome in due time. Ew, let's see, what's the proposition? Let's hear it. Even if the crown is yours, I'd be wary of your bastard brothers. For some, an illegitimate son is far better than a woman. I wouldn't want nobility to use this excuse so they can rid you of your first chance they get. Alden, you're all right. You're my guy. I was worried you were a little quick with it, but I see that you were my guy. I've tasked the Master of Murmurs with investigating them. At the moment, it seems that most of them live a modest life as a craftsman or a servant, but the simplest minds can be the easiest to slay, especially since you haven't established any bond with them, which means that nothing will stop them from betraying you. I suggest dealing with the issue in a permanent way. There he go with the murder again. Alden with the murder. Alden with the murder again. I haven't used any murder. No. Oh, let's see. This will be a cost for nobility, money, and nobility. You're right. It's best not to take any risks. Though I load these methods, I can't risk a civil war or a coup. I've given too much of myself to end up like that. Have them assassinated. They are bastards. They are bastards. As long as they haven't done anything to me, I refuse to let paranoia get the best of me and have them assassinated. However, do I recognize my half-brothers are a threat, and I believe we should definitely keep an eye on them. Assign spies to them. We'll decide how to react if they start plotting against me. I refuse to become a tyrant like my father. Oh, Papa was a tyrant? Fuck him. And to let paranoia trap me in a spiral of violence. So I'll take the opposite approach. I'll make them happy, which should ensure that they don't have any desire to take my title from me or to cause me harm. Send someone to ask them what they want and do your best to satisfy their wishes. Then make sure they're aware of my role as their patron. I don't know, like, I feel like when you start chopping them heads off a little too quick, that causes more trouble. And then everybody's like, well, I'm gonna wage war. I want a peace. I'm gonna escape my assassination. Now I have a problem with you personally. I know. The diplomacy hasn't quite worked out. Let me check. All of it will cost influence. I have the most influence. I have the least money. Oh man. I don't want to be bloodthirsty yet. I know I have poison, but do I want to be bloodthirsty? I don't want to be trapped in the spiral of violence. This is correct. I don't want that. I don't want that, and I hate my pet pop. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's his fault that there are bastards. It's his fault. And they shouldn't be punished for that. But they also should not test me. They should take my goodwill. And if they test my goodwill, then we kill them. If they test my goodwill, we kill them. Your half-brothers were pleasantly surprised by your offer. The twins only asked for a few more coins and they praised your name. The other two made more specific requests. Aaron Vili asked for your permission to marry the daughter of a lord, Lilla de Lavelle, whose father is opposed to the marriage. That was above my pay grade, so I've submitted another petition on that topic with an in-depth explanation. You seen, let's see, Le Cordonnier? Maybe you seen Le Cordonnier, maybe? Ask for your permission to come to the palace without mentioning what position he wants to occupy. He'll look over the details with you once he's there. I'm with it. Time will tell if your kindness is a reward. If it's not rewarded, heads will roll. Do not mistake me. Do not mistake me and my kindness for weakness. Don't. I know you want to use your blade. I know you're like, we gotta kill them. We gotta kill all of them. But I will not be like my pet pop unless they cross me. All right? In all manners, and all points of life. I subscribe to do not start none. There will be none. Okay? All right? That's what we're doing. Why are you making me name my slots? Y'all, it's about to get wild in here. Don't betray my kindness. Ooh. Okay, so what's going on with the petitions? Your half-brother Aaron Beli wishes to marry, okay, the daughter of Lila de Lavelle. The daughter of a lord, her father vehemently opposes the marriage, and Aaron is asking for your help. Talon de Lavelle's main fear is that his daughter makes a misalliance. Aaron Beli is a mere blacksmith without any personal fortune. Giving him land and a title would solve the problem, but the nobility would not happily welcome an uneducated bastard to their ranks. Why not? Why not? Let's see, my half-brother's request is reasonable, and I can only bless the union of two young lovers. The small Lely's estate will be given to him. Who's Lely's? Along with the appropriate title. I hope that will be enough to convince Lord Talon, and that my half-brother won't forget my generosity when he's basking in conjugal happiness. I'd rather upset a single lord rather than an entire nobility. Tell Aaron and Leela that they have my blessing for their wedding. Since her father won't do it, I'll take care of Leela's dowry, so that they may settle down somewhere and enjoy their love story in peace. Rather upset a single lord than an entire nobility. Tell Aaron and Leela that they have my blessing for their wedding, and make it clear to Talon that I won't tolerate anyone's opposition on the matter. I'll give him land. First of all, I love a good hard-working man. All right, he's a blacksmith. I love a good hard-working man. All right, if he runs his own business, he's not a fool. Just because he works with his hands doesn't mean he's uneducated. All right, y'all too. I have 14. I could probably spend it. Let's see. I've been throwing around the nobility a lot. Minus 50 nobility. Your Grace, I must say I was very suspicious when I was told that you would like to grant me one of my wishes, but today I feel ashamed of ever having doubted your intentions. Thanks to you, I married a woman I have always loved, and I know that my land will allow me to support her for the rest of our lives. Nobility is not pleasant to me, but that is a small price to pay for all the happiness that I have been gifted. Please know that you have earned my eternal gratitude. I believe that Amatera herself has put you on the throne. I know you'll be a great empress. May your reign last for decades to come. What is this? Aaron of Blaze. Oh, okay, cool. I don't care. Fuck them. Fuck them, you stupid idiot. You want to make enemies of an heir? You want to make enemies of a potential heir bastard he may be? You want to make enemies of him? Stupid. What? I want allies. I'll leave it as it is. Okay. Ooh, nice. I probably did that wrong. Hold on. Because I was supposed to look at something else. Hold on. Load this one. I need to look at. Okay, there's that. Okay, I didn't look at the exclamation point. Oh wait, okay, no, so that was it? Oh, okay. Okay, it's fine. Fuck a nobleman. Fuck him. I would rather you live in peace. I would rather there be peace upon my land. Okay, so the exclamation point is not there anymore. Okay. This is fine, in my opinion, how that's set up right now. I would rather people focus on farming right now, especially with a guy being dead. Like, you know, people want security. They want to know they got bread. All right, they got meat. They got mead. They want that. Day 39. I was truly glad to be Empress now. But as I had expected, I hadn't had a single moment to myself since the coronation. There was an endless and continuous stream of people paying their respects to me and more or less futile issues to solve. Even if I was happy to finally be able to exercise my power legitimately, I also felt that I needed a break. Thus, after taking care of the most urgent matters, I have decided to take a moment to relax in the gardens, the library. I don't. You'll talk with Alexander. You'll talk with Asha. Do I want to see that unpleasant man? Might as well get it out the way. Where's that unpleasant man? Bring him here. I've always appreciated that. I don't. I'm not sure how. Like, it's nice to know where, like, what character I will speak to, but I know, like, ruining the surprise a little bit. I don't know. It's probably better for this kind of game to know who I'll talk to. I'd always appreciated the serene atmosphere in that palace, in that place. It seemed like the ideal spot for a break. Well, as long as I didn't get tangled up in history books or tomes of military theory. Knowing myself, I was very capable of falling into that trap and staying here until midnight, taking notes. It was best if I restrained myself to picking a novel or some poems, even if books of either sort were scarce. That way, I could truly let my thoughts run free. After all, it had been a while since I last read. Let's have a laugh. Yes, it had been too long since I had last read a marvelous tale with ridiculous and endearing characters, like the Apricot Gnome. How many times had I devoured that book in my younger years, before my age forced me into more academic pursuits? I missed it all. The idea of my upcoming read put me in a good mood, but I stopped dead in my tracks when I spotted Theodore, engulfed in a book. The miserable man. Ever since we had met, every time we saw each other, I felt his gaze on me, studying me with severity, as if he was a myriad himself, come to judge me and decide upon my spot in heaven. In fact, I had gotten so used to seeing his dour and scowling face that I was surprised to find him looking quite serene. In truth, when his features weren't puckered up in sternness, he was rather elegant. For once, he looked at ease, and I didn't have the heart to bother him. Since I had come there myself in search of some peace and quiet, I decided to leave him alone. With all the softness in the world, I tried to close the door behind me, only to hear the blasted thing creak if I had opened the hatch to hell. Disturbed in his reading, Theodore lifted his nose from his book and stared at me, his expression immediately turning into a frown. Hello, Your Grace. Holding back a sigh, I approached him with a polite smile. Hello, Milord Faram. Now that I had been spotted and he had greeted me, I might as well stay and chat. Even if we had found an agreement, I was still wary of Faram's intentions as regarded my throne. It couldn't hurt to learn a bit about him. Yes, baby. Hold on, cat intermission. He wishes to leave. He has eaten and he wishes to leave. Yes, my little cannonball. You wish to go? Say bye to people. Alright, cat intermission done. The book that had fascinated him seemed to offer a perfect topic of conversation, but I couldn't read the letters engraved in the letter from where I stood. What is this book you're so deep into? He abruptly closed the book and placed it on his knees in such a way that I absolutely couldn't read the title. What? Not you in my house! The audacity! That's none of your business. His attitude was exasperating, but I chose to give him a teasing smile. Oh, were you by chance reading an indecent book? Everything in my tone suggested I was joking, but he seemed to take it quite badly and sat upright, his expression upset. He said, "No fun allowed, no jokes. I don't subscribe to chicanery. I hate it here." It is very improper of you to suggest the thing. It is very improper of you to have so little sense of humor. My sense of humor is perfectly intact. So you're questioning my etiquette. I never said any of the sort. But what if I did? I took a deep breath. and held back the scathing retort about to escape my lips. After all, I was the one who had started this conversation, hoping to smooth our relationship, even if I would have paid good money to see him lose that superior and smug expression he liked to display. In any case, it makes sense that you'd still have things to learn. You weren't ready for this. My God, why are we jumping to that? By the 4! Why are we jumping to that? My goodness, dude, relax. Unclench. Unclench. You need some fiber in your diet? What's going on? You need like some spinach, some water. Relax. He said that nonchalantly, almost sympathetically, and I couldn't tell if he was trying to be friendly or if it was yet another elaborate provocation. In any case, he had managed to rile me up. I beg your pardon. You heard me. Stop acting as if you're a powerful heir who can carry the entire nation on her shoulders. I'm not a fool. You've been kept away from the court for half your life. In truth, you don't have the slightest clue of the mess you've gotten yourself into. You've led a privileged life, without any difficulties, away from the plots and issues of your kingdom. Now that your father's dead, you've taken the first chance you've had to steal his crown like a vulture. I'm sure the throne was still warm when you decided to sit on it. He wasn't wrong about the last point, but I couldn't tolerate his half-baked insults any longer. Be careful with your words, Theodore. You're getting dangerously close to royal treason. My father was assassinated abruptly. I didn't have the luxury to hesitate, and I was only fulfilling my duty. Although I was seething inside, I had to stay firm and to make sure not to raise my voice too much, which would only have discredited me. Theodore's like, I gotta have the last word all day, every day, second of the hour. Unpleasant. I'm supposed to kiss him. Well, not supposed to, but I could kiss him. I don't want to. Get him out of my face. I regret coming here. I don't want to build bridges. I wish to burn them. Your father was assassinated because he was greedy for power, because he was cruel, and because over time he had made too many enemies to count. You're his flesh and blood. What could possibly convince me that you're not like him, that you're truly acting out of duty? What was the crux of the issue? He thought I was like my predecessor. The simple idea of it made me nauseous. Excuse me. Have you met him, at least? I seriously doubt that. If that were the case, your insolence would have had you thrown in prison on the spot. That you're not in a cell right now should be enough to demonstrate the difference between my father and I. But I imagine it'll be hard for you to believe me. Whatever I say, it's extremely difficult, even impossible, to make someone who's already formed an opinion change their mind. I'll admit I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were an educated man, but clearly you're backwards enough to judge me on the blood that flows through my veins rather than on my actions. As for my privileged life, what do you know of it? You've never been a woman in a world ruled by men, a queen in a world of kings. You're a beloved son, destined from birth to become the head of your family. On the other hand, I've been kept away from my birthright, and I had to fight to get even the tiniest sliver of power. And now you dare tell me I'm privileged. I had managed to keep my composure, but anger and sarcasm vibrated powerfully in my voice, and that appeared to shut him up. I think you're feeling threatened by my rule, but if this can make you feel better, right now I don't intend to waste my energy on people who already have everything, especially not on account of resentments that predate my birth. The changes I make, I will make them for my people, for my farmers who work my lands, for the women and children who will forge the future of the empire. Reminding myself of my own convictions had calmed me down a bit, and I felt my body relax while I continued. And you know what, Theodore? You're right. I'm more than happy to be empress. It's a dream come true, a dream for which I have fought because I wanted to earn this position. You think I'm naive, that I believe ruling is easy? Even though wearing the crown still won't stop people like you from questioning my legitimacy. I know it's hard, Theodore, because things have never been easy for me. You clearly know nothing of my life, and yet you don't hesitate to criticize it. Before you presume to tell me I have a lot to learn, you should consider expanding your own knowledge. Ooh, I'm so proud of her. Get him, girl, get him! Get him! Get him again for me! For me, get him again for me! Even if I had calmed down, I still felt out of breath, and my heart beat too loudly in my chest. Rather proud of my tirade, I was going to gracefully turn around and leave him there, astounded, but he recovered much faster than I had thought. Boy, give it a rest. Stop it. What an unpleasant man. Hold on, I'm gonna eat a biscuit. He's so unpleasant, I need to eat a biscuit. He's like, ugh. And I understand. There is truth to that, right? There is truth to being like, oh, you have your privileges, locked in your ivory tower, blah, blah, blah. But to assume I came into this untrained, ugh. I don't have my own hardships. Ugh. What an unpleasant man. With a peaceful gesture, he put down the book he had been holding on his knees onto the table. Then he got up so he could take a bow. Interesting. Not Theodore humbled. I may have underestimated the hurdles you've had to overcome and the efforts you've had to make. I hadn't expected him to admit he was wrong, rather than attacking me again, and I stayed quiet. Can you hear the biscuit chewing? I don't think it's picking it up. I think you can only tell that I have food in my mouth. Things haven't been as easy as you've implied for me either, Majesty. But I suppose it would be hypocritical of me to act offended now. His tone had softened, but I was still on the defensive nonetheless. I tried to make my voice sound as neutral as possible. You suppose right. I believe in hard work, in what is earned through the sweat and tears. Even if I'm still unsure of your abilities, you're right. I should at least give you a chance to prove yourself. I wonder if it makes a difference, like, depending on like what you chose. if you feel hypocritical or something. I gotta check it out. Sorry, drinking water. Did I read this? I didn't read it. If I didn't read, I'm sorry. I don't understand my brain. I literally was like, oh, let me drink some water. And then I'm like, did I read this? I'll rule with dignity because that is where lies my duty as an empress. Not because I believe I have everything to prove to anyone. I have anything to prove to anyone. Especially to you. Of course. Since I didn't want to throw fuel on the fire, I didn't reply, and he bowed before leaving the library, accompanied by the insufferable creaking of the door. Does he have any attendance while he's here? So no diplomacy yet. Oh, I get 3 action. Your Grace, we have noticed that a few of the beams that hold up the servants' quarters are currently rotting. The situation can still be salvaged, but if we let the mold spread, the beams will surely give out, and the ceiling might fall down. Yeah, we can't have that. I think we should act quickly. Leon of Vault, are you? I need to speak to this man. My brother, I cannot believe you betray me. Look at me and look at you. I can't believe you betrayed me. Of course it's a priority. What's that one? Resource. Yeah, I haven't even used any resources. Summon a carpenter immediately. Not only could that situation be dangerous, but it could also be far costlier to redo the entire roofing instead of repairing a few beams. It's best to be cautious. The issue stems from mold. Doing maintenance will only temporarily solve it. The new beams would end up molding to summon a scholar specialized in the field. Ask them to identify the source of the problem and get rid of her good. What's this one? Fate. Wait, so this not... It would be far costlier to redo the entire reserve for... Oh. I agree in that we should figure out where the mold is coming from. How do I... Okay. Okay, so the beams are not totally bad. I'll try this one. Ooh, plus 20 people. Whoa, plus 20 people. Let's go. Your Grace, the scholar that you mandated has come and he has treated the moldy beans with rituals and a mixture made of various powders. That should stop the mold from coming back and finishing off the weakened beams. To be on the safe side, we have decided to treat the entire cow sleeves in the method he has taught us. It will take a few months, but I think it will be worth it. Okay. All right. Whoa, 20 people. Hell yeah. Oh, I don't need to do this one yet. Do I have any more? Your Grace, the guards have finally caught the thief who had been looting... What is this? Asteroid. Wait. They couldn't catch a thief because they're like, surely not a woman. Surely was not doing it. Despite the trap I laid out, which was perfectly executed, she managed to kill many of our men in her attempt to flee justice. The town guard is very upset, but the Master Murmurs was swayed by the thief's talents. He'd like for her to be exempt from justice so he can make her one of his... Yeah, hell yeah, let's go! Women. Personally, I'm against the idea. This woman isn't trustworthy and she deserves to be punished for her crimes. The decision is yours to make. General Alexander, relax. Y'all are so stupid. Y'all couldn't catch it because you didn't consider the possibility of a woman. Y'all so dumb. Let's go. I'm not even... What does this say? Oh, I'll read it. Even if I doubt the girl's skill, I wouldn't want to exempt a thief, worse, a murderer, from justice. The law is unwavering, and I believe it's important that we all remember that. She will be punished for her crimes, and the souls of her dead guards will finally be able to rest in peace. No, they died because they're incompetent. Are you fucking serious? Master of Murmurs knows how to spot rare talents. If he wants to train her, then this girl will truly have great potential. We always need good agents to serve the crown. It seems a waste to let her talents rot in a cell. Give her a few coins to the families of the deceased. That should be enough to ease their bitterness that the guilty party will escape judgment. We could lie and say she was judged. That's so funny. No way a woman could be a thief and then you die. I'll try this one. I lost people, but I gained influence. That's okay, I already got 20 people. What are you talking about? That's fine. Your decision to let me take Minerva under my wing was wise indeed. She's even more talented than I thought. All she needed was structure and a goal. Two things that I have provided for her. Listen to me. Listen to me. People steal if there is cause for it, right? People don't steal because they want to like cause harm, right? Give her a job, reform her. Give the people money, because that way they can take care of their funeral expenses and make up for the wages that were left. Kill her. Nobody gets anything except be like, oh, finally. Like, no. We needed money for this. Fuck those -10 people for a sec, just for a little bit. I still have to perfect her training, but I do not doubt for a second that she will be a remarkable asset in the future, Your Grace. Master of Remembrance. Yeah, let's get it. No, that is so fun. If not, like, maybe not for the reason that they were like, oh man, we effed up because we didn't anticipate that the thief could be a woman is so funny. Nah. Do better, Alexander. What the fuck is going on? Do better, my guy. Your Grace, the scholars would like to expand the Academy of Estrog in order to welcome more aspirants. Their numbers grow every year, and besides, the Dean would like to extend the duration of some training courses, as our knowledge in some fields has depended and become more detailed over time. The scholars have raised the required funds thanks to several generous donors, but since the Academy is located in the very middle of the capital, its expansion requires raising some of the shops and lodgings that have been built around it. No, that I won't do. With or without your help, the Academy will prosper, but it's always good to foster one's friendships. Robert, they need to go somewhere else. It's the importance of offering quality education to our scholars in the future, but that cannot be done at the expense of people's comfort. We'll build another academy away from the center. How much do I have? I don't have enough to do that. There's all room and needs to grow in the future. The Crown will fund the additional costs related by instruction. Safety of people, my priority. The Academy has always fared well under its current mode of operation. To find a solution of that education, dig basements, open up annexes. Displacing a few stalls and lodges at a small price to pay to expand our academy, thereby increase the splendor. I'd like to authorize this expanse. No, I'm not. We will not gentrify the people. I don't have enough money to do this one. I have to make a choice. Unless... Wait, hold on. If this... Oh, wait, where did it go? Huh? Oh, what did I do? Okay, so I got that one. Where did that one go? I didn't. I don't know what happened to it. Okay, wait, okay. Okay, no, okay, so I just went too far back. Yeah. That didn't. Okay, back to 4 money. Okay, I'm fine with that. I love a talented woman. I'm gonna ignore him for a second. It's not urgent. I'm gonna ignore him for a second. Hold on. I'd rather have people. -2 money. Alright. I'm ignoring him for a second. Hold on. Fine, whatever. I'm gonna tell him to dig basements. Fuck him. Oh, I don't know where it is. Damn, where is it? I lost it. I don't know if I accidentally selected it or something or not. I lost it. Your Grace, forgive me for bothering you with such trivial matters, but I am in need of your impartial wisdom. 2 farmers from my village, what is it, Gutennock and Ropars, who own adjoining land, have been harboring and burning hate for each other for years, but as of late, there's Their scuffles have escalated to troubling extent. Excuse me. Oh my god. Rapars has just poisoned all of Guthenok's goats. He claims he did so in retaliation of his neighbor's actions. The latter appears to have deliberately led his goats to his neighbor's field so they could graze on it and destroy part of the harvest. During this interrogation, Guthenok claimed in turn that he was taking revenge for the destruction of a fence, and so on and so forth. It never ends. It's impossible to determine who started the fight, and the tension shows no sign of subsiding. Fadila, our priestess, has tried many times to act as mirror, but to no avail. My sermons are just as useless. We've tried appealing to our Lord's justice, but he's been away from his lands for a few months now. It is out of desperation I dare bother you, Your Majesty. I'm convinced that you alone have the authority required to instill some common sense in these two idiots. May the Four protect you. Was that Harzak, Mayor of Osborne? Well, I skipped the one with the priest. I didn't mean to. Find the local lord. We'll have to turn to the gods. Tell people to flip. No. No, that's not good. The mayor started the child squad with their boat at fault receiving them. Tell the mayor to punish them both. Perhaps sending them to prison together will help them see eye to eye. Yeah, they're doing some wild shit. Trying to celebrate a squall, find the local lord, tell them to take care of these ridiculous fights, which seem to worry the mayor so very much. Okay. It's so wild, but I feel like you should just tell teacher, tell the local lord. You idiots! I'm gonna put you in prison. Oh my god, you idiots. Look, 5 goods. Oh, at least we didn't lose goods. Your Grace, I have done as you asked. Indeed, it seems that during their time in jail, rather found their resentment towards you. Yeah, fuck them. -5 people. I started fearing that their grudge might lead to them to try and cause you harm, and I have kept close eye. However, I'm sure that your ludicrous points are nothing to worry about. Okay, wait. Hold on. Hold on. This is so funny. Let me see. What does this do? A fire? How bad? How bad is it? I've lost. You lose 15 people. You idiots. You idiots. You idiots. Maybe that's better. What's the one? What's the problem that they do with the, like, the baby? Let's see how this one turns out. How bad is this one? +1 goods. 1,000 thanks, Your Grace, for taking the time to share your wisdom with her. I have done as you ordered. The gods have spoken. Genthonak is the one who has spent a few days in prison until he's calmed down. The farmer, Rapraz, is convinced that he has been favored by the Four thanks to your imperial support, and therefore has asked me to gift you a few crates of his vegetables. I hope that they will still be edible after such a long trip. God, I was like, that's so— you idiots! You started a fire! You idiots! You dummies! You morons! You fools! I will eat all of you! Spring day 42. What are you doing here? What do you want? Just as I walked into the gardens to rejoice the opposite wing of the castle, I had the surprise of seeing Theodore sitting on a bench, focusing on something. There was an inkwell next to him, and he held in his hands a sheet of paper and a quill. However, his arm was up in the air, and his face sported an increasingly irate expression. That's so funny. This man's just here. This man is just here in our castle. I couldn't resist the urge to tease him a little, and I drew close to him with a smile. Are you writing a letter filled with diffident love for some castle servant or other? Your Grace. Clearly, my comment surprised him, and I favored his scowl while he attempted to defend himself. Of course not. I'm not the kind of man who would court the staff. His look made me want to tease him a bit more, and I leaned forward so I could try to read a few words over his shoulder, but the paper was blank. Oh, a lustful letter to a lover in Ferrum, then. By the force, stop it with your inappropriate fantasies. It's a letter to my mother. Her birthday is coming soon. Oh, I didn't know that. Will you please give her my best birthday wishes? This time he seemed surprised, but soon he went back to looking pitiful. As you wish, Your Grace. I'll put in a word in your favor. He was staring at his letter with a mix of hate and despair, and I decided to have a guess at his troubles. In need of inspiration? Absolutely not. I'm fine. Could you try not to scowl before you tell such an obvious lie? Stung, he tried to come up with a retort, but then he stopped himself and sighed, giving up on the argument. I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened to the one with that from Robert. I don't know what happened to it. When I go back, it just goes to the one I already solved. I always know what to tell her, usually, but right now I don't know what to write. And yet, somehow, you always find the right words to get a rise out of me. He gave a lopsided smile and then shook his head with a sigh. You will not Byronic smile your way into my heart. Stop it. It's just not the same. You're right, it's very different. You need to be the opposite of annoying. For once, he didn't talk back and instead kept contemplating his blank sheet. I guess the gift will have to be enough. I'm sure reading a few words from you would make her far happier than any gift. I can help you a little if you'd like. This is a private letter. I can't let you write it for me. It would be improper. His outraged tone proved me once more that his pride was too fragile for him to accept any kind of help. I was suggesting I might give you ideas, not do it for you, but I won't bother you any longer if it makes you uncomfortable. This has nothing to do with discomfort. It's a matter of principle. All right, okay, whatever. Can't accept help from a woman. I see how it is. To write your letters on your own or to do every single thing on your own? My reply was rather pointed, and he gave me a long look without saying a word. I didn't give him the chance to add anything further, and I turned around to leave. However, after I took a few steps, I spoke up again without turning around. But if you want a piece of advice, your mother must miss hearing from you just as much as you do hearing from her. Just tell her about you, about how this snake pit makes you feel. She'll find it easier to answer. He kept quiet, but I heard behind me the familiar sound of a quill scratching on parchment. I just hoped he wouldn't badmouth me too much. I was trying to straighten our bonds with the Faram, and I didn't want to be depicted as some sort of vixen who spent her time harrying him, even if I had to admit that so far, I hadn't been very good at resisting my urge to tease him. Because he's such a little man. All right, is it here? Is it here now? But wait, have gone back to childish fine. When Punch believes he's been a victim of injustice, and when his neighbor provoked him, they got into a fist fight. But I know they're only waiting for a chance to get back into it. I fear that this whole time I'm trying, I don't know what to do. Oh my god, you fucking idiots. You idiots. Oh my god, you stop fighting! What's wrong with you? Enough of your childish squabbles. If they're unable to cooperate, tell the mayor to arrest them both. Make sure that they stay in the dungeon long enough to give up their juvenile rivalry. Warn them as well that if they were to go back to their old ways, their land would be taken from them by imperial decree. It would be stupid to lose two producers to a simple rivalry. Force them to cooperate by mutualizing their lands so that only a single large farm remains. They would have to work together. The threat of dying hunger is if they're unable to properly cooperate should provide sufficient motivation. If they're eager to fight, you should suggest a trial by ordeal so that they have opportunity to settle this once and for all. Idiots. Idiots. Idiots! This is terrible! What's that one gonna be? The two farmers are very much opposed. Yeah, put them in their get-along farm. The two farmers are very much opposed to the idea, but as he predicted, necessity is the mother of invention. They end up setting their grudge aside. It was an arduous process, but now that they are pouring their energy into their land rather than into their desire to harm each other, their farm is flourishing. They have even started to expand it. Thank you so much for taking the time to deal with this issue. I imagine it must have been very insignificant to you, but it meant the world to me. Know that Osborne will be forever thankful. It's not much, but as a token of gratitude, please accept a few crates of the first product resulting from their joint labor. May the Four protect you. Was it Harzak, Mayor of Osborne? Exactly what they need. A get-along shirt in the form of a farm. Can't get on my fucking nerves. Stop it. I want to have money, but whatever. I'll expand my army for now. Just a little bit. I lose people. I don't want -5. I don't know. I really don't fully understand. Look at that. I can have -1 money. Farming is important to me. But I lose people? I don't think taxes need to go up. I just want to expand the army for a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I get 0 people. Continue. Your Highness, an important expedition is currently being set up. It will be led by a famous explorer. What is it? Ohio? I want to say Ohio, but I don't think it's supposed to be said like that. Ohio Smith? Accompanied by 2 noble scholars, the naturalist Melifaro and the cartographer Slimathale? Their goal is to set sail for the far end of the bellicose ocean, so they can uncover whatever hides at world's end. The scientific expedition would allow us to detail our maps and to research the fauna, the flora, and the geography of these new horizons. The Cardinals are very interested in this expedition, and many patrons have already contributed to it. This is why I humbly ask your participation. High Priest Robert. Alright, I'll do you this one. Learn more about the world is a noble goal. We will gladly contribute to the fun expedition as long as we're first to hear what the no, I don't care. Colonels are so interested in the expedition, we can pitch in as well. We'll fund half of it, and we urge the priests and scholars to fund the other half. It seems fun, but yeah, let's go half. Let's go in on half. Your Grace, the expedition is up and ready to go. May Basan watch over them. The omens are good. I'm sure that the expedition will be a success. I don't know. Robert gives me like vibes. I lost 5 people, but I got so much. That's probably from my quarter thing. Look at my army, it's big. It's big now. I'll probably just go back to maintaining it. Day 52 of spring. The days passed by in a blur, all similar to each other. New petitions to manage, new events to participate, influential people to flatter. I'd never had any illusions. I had always known that my life as an empress would be mainly paced by paperwork and diplomatic discussions, but sometimes it got a bit much. I knew the decisions I was making could change lives and minds, and I hoped that under my rule my kingdom would prosper, but I couldn't see the results of my hard work after a mere few weeks. I had to settle for little victories, and sometimes I caught myself hoping for something, anything to disrupt my day. Unfortunately, nothing seemed to be on the cards. Your Grace. Removed his hood after closing the door. Of course, I'm all ears. Today, a wandering caravan coming from Vargas was attacked by bandits. While they were caravan are now being held hostage to be ransomed. And I immediately started going through them in my mind. That bridge is a strategic location. It should have been better protected. We'll send men over there, and I'll ask Marjorie to send hers as well. Her men are closer by. They should be able to secure the area and limit the disruptions to that heavily trafficked commercial road. And put a bounty on these bandits. We have to find the hostages and deal with their captors as decisively as possible. Patiently, he let me finish, but I saw his expression. I realized there was more to it, and I frowned. Is there something in particular that I should know about this caravan, Master of Murmurs? Softly he nodded. Amongst the captured people is one of my agents, a master of spying and infiltration. He had been in Vargas for a few months to keep an eye on a family of nobles. And he was urgently coming back with some vital information. Does it have to do with my father's assassination? Do you think Vargas is guilty of it? No. At first glance, there's no connection. Your father's assassination is still under investigation. Even if I have to admit that at the moment, we're somewhat stalled. Then what is this about? That's precisely the issue. I don't know. Apparently, it's crucial information. My agent has always been excessively prudent. He feared that his mail might be intercepted, and therefore he was reluctant to send me written information, even if our messages are always coded. So, you're telling me that one of our spies who infiltrated Vargas has been captured not far from the border while he was coming back with information of the utmost importance, and that you have no clue what that is. Finally, now that the four have decided to grant my wish of a little more excitement, I started regretting wishing for it in the first place. The situation didn't bode well. That's correct. Like you, I do find this coincidence suspicious. But we can't be sure of anything. If they just wanted to cover their attacks, they could have simply killed him right there and then, as well as the guards. Maybe they just got rid of the body. We can't exclude that possibility, but we've received a demand ransom addressed to his family, like the other 4 hostages. I don't know. Well, in any case, we have to clear up this situation quickly. Do we have other agents stationed in Vargas who could try to learn what our spy knows? A few, yes, but I'm afraid that they won't be discreet enough. If they were to approach the same people, the decision is yours to make. What the hell? We're Master of Murmurs. Aren't you training them? What's going on? I know it's dangerous, but we still have to try. It's part of the bear paid. Save agents should stay in their current posts. Are they close by? I have so much. What the fuck? What did I do? I have so much. What did I do? I have 3 money. But it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I know it's dangerous, but we still have to try. Let's see. Very well, Your Majesty. I'll order them to follow the same tracks as the agent, but he had been there for months. I doubt they can obtain quick results. I know, but if this information was crucial, we don't have a choice. We have to try. I understand. And for the bandits, what shall we do? I took the time to think and weigh my options before making a decision. Do we have any information whatsoever on these bandits? If they are who they pretend to be, they've been active all over the territory and always follow this pattern. But we know little about them. For the time being, we have no idea of their whereabouts or who their leader is. Are they trustworthy? I mean, once the ransoms have been paid, will they truly release the hostages? So far, yes, they've kept their word. I mean, we have no proof that this is a setup. We have to believe that they were released. Our agent is alive. If they're, I don't know. We can't continue letting these bands live on our lands, even if they're known for being trustworthy. I absolutely do not trust them. I don't want to pay ransoms. Yeah, I don't want to pay ransom all over. That's crazy. All over the place. Pretend to pay the ransom, but trap them. At least we'll have fewer bandits on our hands if our agent is already dead. The decision is far too uncertain to engage resources. If it's a trap, we'll lose more lives. I refuse to finance these bands any further. Even though it'll cost me, the only thing that we can do is have faith in the agent and his abilities. Is a talented you claim? Let's try it. Let's try it. I understand your prudence, but knowing our agent, I think that what he knew was very important. I'll continue to do some research on my side to help the local authorities, but I have very little hope that our agent can make it and shed light on the whole situation. Man, I trust you to train these people. I trust you to train them. I imagine we just have to pray Basar. To pray Basar? I imagine we just have to pray Basar so that he can help guide him back to us. I'll pray too, Master of Murmurs. I trust you to train them. I'm just, on one hand, maybe I should fight them. On the other hand, what? Favored by the gods. So what? Survive a what? Damn it! Your Grace, our prayers have been heard. Do you remember the agent who had been captured about a week ago? Yes, I remember. Is he all right? Yes, Your Majesty. Basan has heard our prayers. He managed to escape the bandits, and he's on his way to the castle at this very moment. That's wonderful. Has he revealed what he knows? No, not yet. He's insisting on talking about it in person. With your permission, I'd like to send Alexander to guard him in order to avoid any further bad surprises. He should be here in a few days. Very well. Do that then. And let's wait to see what he has to say. That's wild. Unable to sleep, I got up to take in a bit of fresh air at the window. As much as I told myself there was no point in speculating before I got the spy's report, I couldn't stop the foreboding I felt. Everything's going to be fine, finished the demo. Woo! And I was about to be proved right. Woo! We finished it! Yay! Haha! Look at that's cool. The witness. You and 49% point, wow, the percentage is wild. You and 49% of players have, have decided to promise a promotion to witness. Well, excuse me. When I play this next time, I'm just sending it away. What the fuck? The Quadrador. You and 54% of players have decided to bribe the Quadrador, which seems fine. Excuse me. The Baron's suspicious. You and 51% of players have decided to ally yourself with the Baron of Lavoy. Investigation in Vargas. You and 63% of players have decided to send out other agents to keep investigating. Excuse me, oh my god. I finished the game. I finished the demo and I die. Bastard brothers. You and 51% of players decide to bribe your stepbrothers. Listen. I'm down for allies. The missing spy. You and 62% of the players have decided not to help the agent captured by bandits. Excuse me. I think even though I survived it, I do think that's all just these military influence. I was worried about like escalation, but like, stop kidnapping people. Stop asking for ransom. Stop it. Stop it right now. I'm gonna slap your little hands. I think those are things I'll change next time if they're still there. Nice. I like all the coin sounds. Okay, interesting. So you can skip erotic scenes, but we did not trigger any, and they're probably not in here. Yeah, how erotic is erotic? I wanted because I've played, you know, some mature games with sex scenes in them. So they're like, oh, that's not so bad. Like Boyfriend's Dungeon is like pretty tame as far as things go. First Bite is a little bit more explicit, but First Bite's cool because you can really be like no matter who it is, you're like, I really just bite me, just change me into a vampire. And we're Gucci. So I am curious. Like I will probably have them on when I finally have the game, the full game. And I would like to see. I would like to know how erotic they are. Like I said, I got that sensor bar on deck. We got that sensor bar on deck. We got it. Anyways. Okay. But that was fun. That was fun. I wasn't too sure like how, like, you know, like, one, it's primarily a visual novel, right? So I don't remember everything. There's so much in my Swiss cheese brain, but I wasn't like expecting this heavy of a resource management thing, but I think it's really cool, and I think it's perfectly fine to have it on the political intrigue style type of game. I don't know what I don't know what triggers scene who next, like in regards to the people. I barely spoke to Alexander. I should fix that. Next time I'll speak to him. Theodore is on my nerves. I don't care for him right now. It's like me. I love all my Imperial Grace love interests. I don't care for Theodore. However, he's not so far sexist like Leon. Leon? I can't believe my brother. Look at me, my brother. How could you do this? How could you? My brother in the 4. How could you do this to me? Stop it right now. So that's interesting. I'm intrigued to see his character as well. I think he's a love interest. I think he is. I could be wrong. But yeah, this was fun to play. So I'll see you guys again on Friday. We will be playing VTM Shadows of New York, which is a sequel, to Coteries of New York. I will start off with just like a very long chat about how I felt about Coteries of New York. I said earlier in stream, I'm moving on to Shadows of New York because I think for the flaws as a visual novel, I think the characterization in the games presented so far is worth at least exploring it. But you know, Coteries is weird, and we will talk in length because I told you could lay me down on an ironing board. I'm so pressed. I was so pressed. But yeah, we'll get into it on Friday. Like I said, if you like this demo, I also played another game by Sensoria. Ballads at Midnight is the game. It's very interesting. I also do like English accent, a little different. I think maybe I'll hear the VOD and I'll know if it's different. But that's going up tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. So for those of you like PST time, it should be in the morning, lunchtime, kind of. But yeah, that'll be going up. So like, you know, if you're like, their games are kind of interesting, you should check out that video and maybe even check out the game, because that game is free. That game is free. It was made in a game jam. Yeah, so that's it for housekeeping. Thank y'all so much for hanging with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye.